Welcome back to another episode.
Yo, welcome back. Welcome back to the Daily Yap. And welcome back to another Yappisode. It's been a couple of days. It's been more than like 2 days. If I'm not mistaken, we had a collab with Real Bays the other night, which went amazing. If anybody, if you got time on your hands to go check that out, please do so. We had a collab with Bays. I believe 2 nights ago, talked for like 4 hours. It's up on both of our channels, so please go check it out if you want to just sit back and just not feel crazy about this Charlie Kirk investigation. We pretty much hit on absolutely everything, and I think that kind of sums up this entire investigation. If you want to be honest, it's not really an open and shut case like people call it and what people say, and it's not really that simple. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of pieces moving. There are a lot of characters, and I think that is like, that sums up everything. So that was a very great conversation from beginning to end. I cannot believe we went for that long. I know we talked a little bit before the show, and we already knew we had a lot to catch up on and chop it up about. But I don't think neither one of us was expecting 4 hours, and all 4 hours was dope. So don't be afraid to go check that out. I know it's lengthy, but it could be worth it, because we definitely hit on everything. And as everybody knows, it's kind of hard to talk to anybody about this stuff. Not everybody really doesn't care. Again, I've said it plenty of times in the Yap community that if you really look like from the broader perspective, from the outside looking in, we really are small. I know Candace might have millions of people that watch her videos, and you got Baron, all these huge podcasters. Then you have your small podcasters. But when you still look at the big picture, it really is like a small amount of people that are, really pushing for truth. So that's why it's important to continue to fight and do it every single day. So definitely go check that out. It's been a couple of days since we had the last time we had a Yappisode, and I definitely missed y'all. So if you're new to the channel, everybody, please hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the sub button as well. We're on the road to 25K. Also, I had to get some help because I didn't really know how all of that worked, but I ended up creating the members only and stuff like that. So if you feel like you want to support the channel, don't hesitate to go over to the members and become a member of the Yap community. I believe it's the Yap family. So do that. Support the channel, become a member. That would be super dope. I'm very new to all of it, so I don't really know the terminology for everything. Forgive me, but I just know that I needed some help creating it because somebody was like, man, you should definitely do that. And I'm kind of like, I'm so different. I'm a little old school when it comes to content creating, so I'm not really used to all the different things that's going on. But then somebody was like, man, just don't discredit yourself, I think, or minimize the work that you're doing. Like, people rock with you and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I guess, whatever. So that would be super dope as well. If you wanted to become a member, I definitely plan on continuing to expand this channel, continue to grow. That way I can start doing members only lives where we really get into some stuff, because that would be very dope. So expanding that community, that way we can have a big enough audience to have members only lives and really get into the nitty-gritty things. That would be amazing. So if you feel like you want to support the channel, that'd be great there. I also have a lot to talk about, obviously, today. I definitely got some donkey of the days. We haven't had some donkey of the days in a couple of weeks. We've been getting very, very into it lately, just jumping right in. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, nobody has said that y'all can't see me, which is great because I've had technical difficulties too. So we've been jumping straight into some stuff, and man, we got a lot to talk about. We got some donkey todays, including some special faces. I don't want to get them away just yet. We also have that you've seen in the thumbnail. we have this receipt, and we have an employee from a smokehouse in Utah, pretty much confirming what Candace has been saying all along, that Tyler Robinson stopped at a smokehouse, grabbed a steak. He was pretty hungry after committing that crime, I guess. And that an employee has came out confirming that he served Tyler Robinson. He took his receipt, he saw him, he noticed him, which would create a lot of problems, which should create a lot of problems, according to the Fed slot pushers and these fake text messages that were going out and stuff like that, that were allegedly sent by Tyler Robinson. Is going to create a huge hole in the narrative, which I think has happened a million times, if you want to be completely honest. But I just think that once again, this exposes the Feds for who they are, for planting evidence and all types of stuff. And so we're gonna get into a lot of stuff. Before I get into Donkey today, let me check some of y'all comments out, man. I miss y'all. We haven't done an episode in a couple of days. We went live Wednesday. It might have been since Tuesday. Then Tuesday we had technical difficulties. YouTube wasn't rocking with me. So I believe it was either Sunday or Monday. Did I catch the beginning for once? Yes, you are at the beginning. What's going on, everybody? You are at the beginning. Blindly Gab in the chat. Y'all lasted longer than I. Bays was Wednesday. I figured you need to recover after Bays. Yeah. I definitely was sleep last night. I could not go Thursday. I took so many naps on Thursday, and I went to sleep early Thursday night. So yeah, I did have to recover. Do you have a plan for what day you do a members only live? Not yet, because as y'all know, Baby Yapper number 2 is almost here as well. So I can't necessarily plan yet for the members only live. It is coming. I promise. I do plan on doing a lot of things as soon as I figure out this new routine. So that's a great question. Adrian, what's going on? Happy Friday. Penguins, Utah. A good steak and potato. Right now I'm unemployed, but will come a member once. Oh yeah, that's completely fine, bro. It's promise you, it is no issue at all. It is just out of, courtesy of your heart. If you can't, that's completely fine too. Let YouTube do what they do. So it's no worries at all. I promise. I'm just glad that you're here watching tonight. All right. Without further ado, let's get into some Donkey Todays, because there has been a lot going on lately. I will admit, since Sunday or Monday, we haven't talked in a while. A lot of things have happened. A lot of dummies have surfaced. They have came out a lot. So let's see who's first on the list, man, because it's been crazy. You know what? Let's do this guy right here. First up, Donkey of the Day. We have an interesting character that I just cannot seem to figure out. He I don't believe half the things he says. It's hard to believe that anybody takes him serious. I don't really believe that he is some type of pastor. This is just a strange individual. And the first time I ever thought, what the heck is wrong with this dude, is when it's plenty of times. Don't get me wrong, it's been plenty of times. But one thing that I really was like, dog, is something seriously wrong with this guy, is when he went back to UVU, and he was chopping it up with the students, talking about Charlie and all that stuff. And then he made that weird story, and he was like, the doctor came out and was like, he's dead. Where's Erica? He's dead. I was like, yo, what's this? I said, bro, ain't no doctor coming out of the day, surgeon, ain't no surgeon coming out of the operating room, busting the door open like it's Grey's Anatomy, talking about he's dead. Where, like, you're gonna yell he's dead before, like, what if Erica, everybody's in the lobby praying, right? That's what Frank said. Everybody's in the lobby praying. Why would everybody be in the lobby praying, having hope, and then the surgeons just come out and just yell out that he's dead. I mean, that was diabolical. That was one of the first times I was like, is this dude okay? Because I clearly know he's lying. So yes, Frank Turek is the first donkey of the day. And oh yeah, he yelled at that old lady. Bro, he's an interesting individual. He's a donkey of the day. He's the first donkey of the day. And this time, he's not yelling at any old ladies. He doesn't talk about a surgeon coming out yelling at the waiting room, screaming that Charlie's dead to all the praying people. This time, he suggests that there is a married couple at home arguing over if Frank Turek is legit or not. And this husband is apparently debating a divorce because he doesn't like the Frank Turek slander in his household. And when I heard this story, my Lord, I just couldn't believe it. I said, bro, there's no way this man just came up with this whole thing by himself. So without further ado, let's let Frank Turek take it away, Mr. Donkey of the Day.
Advice. My wife and I are both. I'm writing because I'm at a point of desperation, and I'm hoping you might offer some biblical wisdom or practical advice. My wife and I are both Christians, but over the past several months, she has become deeply influenced by Candace Owens's recent content regarding you, Israel, and a number of broader conspiracy-related topics. She has come to believe that you are dishonest and you are a false teacher, and even that you are involved in criminal wrongdoing. She also believes that there are vast hidden forces controlling world events, governments, media, and churches. From everything I've studied over the years, I've reached a very different conclusion. I continue to believe you are sincerely serving Christ through apologetics. Well, I don't think any human being is beyond criticism. I know I'm certainly not. I have not seen credible evidence to support the accusations that are being made against you.
For real.
What concerns me most isn't simply that we disagree. It's that these beliefs have become central to our conversations and are creating an ever-widening divide in our marriage. Almost every discussion eventually returns to these subjects, and it has become increasingly difficult to have peaceful conversations. Let me pause right here. It reminds me of the proverb that talks about one of the things.
I mean, that's what I said. Bro, he read that thing so fast. I'm not the best popcorn reader, right? I get nervous when I get put on the spot to read a paragraph or something. And I feel like I can read very well if I'm like reading to myself. But if I get put on the spot, like y'all, I'm sure y'all notice it. Okay, look, I love y'all. I'm sure y'all love me. We could be honest here. When I have a paragraph, y'all know me. I mess up multiple times throughout that paragraph. I just get nervous when the lights are bright. Buddy right here is just skimming through this paragraph. This ain't, I mean, maybe it's not the first time he read it. Maybe he read it about 5 times before he aired it or something like that. But Buddy is running through it. Man, you wrote this yourself, bro. Come on, Frank.
Things God right here. It reminds me of the proverb that talks about one of the things God hates, and that's someone who causes dissension among the brothers.
Are you saying God hates this man's wife? Okay, Frank, continue.
All right, let me continue. I've tried listening carefully. I've tried asking questions instead of arguing. I've tried examining the evidence together. None of it seems to help. The more evidence I present, the more convinced she becomes of the evidence itself as part of the deception. It's like, yeah, there's no way of winning here, right? In fact, if you think that all evidence is part of the conspiracy, there's no way of getting outside of that to show that the conspiracy isn't true. There's no way of unfalsifying that. That's the problem, or falsifying that, I should say. All right, let me continue with this gentleman's question. As Christians, we're called to seek truth, to test everything, and to remain humble. I'm struggling to know how to do that while also preserving my marriage. I'm not writing you to ask you to defend yourself personally. Rather, I'm asking how a Christian husband should respond when someone he loves becomes convinced of claims that seem resistant to evidence or meaningful dialogue. How do I continue loving my wife well without constantly arguing or silently affirming ideas that I sincerely believe are false? I've also wondered whether there can be a spiritual component to this kind of situation. Scripture speaks about deception, discernment, and spiritual warfare. But I want to be careful not to simply label.
It will be both of them, though. He's saying Candace is causing a problem, and he's saying his wife is causing a problem too by I guess accepting what Candace is saying and bringing it into the home. So I think he's essentially saying God doesn't like Candace nor his wife for his wife loving Candace. This dude is crazy.
Someone I love. I don't want to respond with pride or anger. I want to respond with truth, grace, patience, and wisdom. Man, this lady has a very thoughtful husband. Let's just say that. He goes on to say, our marriage is under real strain because of these differences, and I honestly fear where this could lead if we cannot find a healthier way to communicate. If you happen to read this and have a few minutes to offer advice, or someone on your team could point me toward a message, article, or resource that addresses situations like this, I would be sincerely grateful. Thank you again for your faithful ministry. May God continue to bless and strengthen you and use your work to draw people to Christ. Excellent question and a hard problem here. I like this man's attitude that he wants to love his wife, but he's wondering how can he deal with his wife, who seems to be immune to evidence, that no matter what evidence you give someone, to them, it's more evidence of some sort of conspiracy.
I mean, look, let me see if I can find. I want to see if I can find his whole answer really quick. If I can't, I'm gonna just keep it pushing because I'm interested in what he has to say. What is your full response, Frank Turek? Let me see if I can find it. What he was wearing, blue. Frank, where you at, man? Here we go. He's wearing blue here. Yep. Help, conspiracies are ruining my marriage. That's the title of the video. I just want to see what he has to say for his response to his own email that he sent himself. Let me see if I can find it.
Absolutely, it does. But of course, it ends in three different ways. The death penalty for this. Part of the conspiracy, there's no way of getting outside of that differences. And I honestly, through what's been going on, you give someone an excellent question and a hard problem here. I like this man's attitude that he wants to love his wife, but he's wondering how can he deal with his wife, who seems to be immune to evidence, that no matter what evidence you give someone, it's to them, it's more evidence of some sort of conspiracy. There's no,
because it ain't good enough. That evidence sucks. And that's what the wife trying to tell the husband. The evidence is terrible. I need you to show me more. The husband don't like that. The husband clearly doesn't like being challenged at all. That's an issue.
Way to falsify that belief. So maybe what I did is I sent him a bunch of questions that he might want to ask and then sincerely listen about. And maybe some of these questions can help you think through what's been going on. And if you're at odds with somebody you love who is on a different side of this, maybe these questions can help. I don't know. I'll just offer them. One question I might ask immediately is, what evidence would you need to see to know that the conspiracy you believe in is false? What evidence would you need to see? Because look, if Tyler Robinson really did murder Charlie Kirk and he acted alone, the evidence that you saw in the pretrial hearing is quite damning. Is all that evidence the product of a conspiracy? I would just ask that question. Let me go to some of the questions that I specifically sent him. And I'll start with this one. Remember, he's asking this to his wife. So you might say, honey, if someone murdered me, your husband, would you want Candace to treat you the way she's treating Erica?
Oh my gosh.
And just see what she says. Now, she may go into this big rant about how Candace is looking for justice. And I forget all that for just a second. Let's just concentrate on Erica. Erica Kirk, the widow. Why is she insinuating that Erica Kirk and her organization is complicit? What evidence does she have for that? Would you want her to jump to that? almost immediately after the murder? Would you want her to jump to you almost immediately after the murder?
Yes. Yes, Frank. Yes. If everything, yes. It's crazy. Imagine the wife being like, honey, babe, like Candace brought up that Charlie was fearful of his life before he died. He sent messages out. He was terrified of his life, terrified for his life. He said somebody was going to end up killing him. He ended up dying. And then Erica comes out and says, he never did that, right? First, Candace brings up, hey, yeah, Charlie sent messages out. He was scared for his life. He was telling everybody. Erica ends up coming out being like, no, he never did that. He never, ever did that. He didn't send messages out. Why? Because I have his phone. And then Candace comes out and says, nope, here go the messages right here. Here it is. Why would you lie? And then Erica comes out again and says, oh, you know what? It was through a different app. You know, I just happened to not see it. It was through a different app. And then Candace comes out and said, no, it was iMessage. You're telling me you think I give a freak about if it's the widow or not? That's crazy. You lied about something very big. And if that ever happened to anybody's relationship where their husband would lie about something like that, yeah, you get the same smoke. I don't care if you're a widow or not. The first person that is questioned after a mysterious elimination of their spouse is the other spouse or the significant other or their inner circle. It's not weird or odd to understand that. That is just common sense.
Second question. If God forbid Candace's husband was murdered, would Candace want Erica to treat her that way? Number 3, if you witnessed a murder of your friend and best student, as I did, would you want Candace to treat you like she's treating Frank and Charlie's other friends?
Oh my gosh. Okay, bro.
Number 4.
I've heard enough. He's asking you for advice. And you're going to come out and give him questions. Like he hasn't questioned everything. I mean, you wrote this to yourself anyway, so it don't even matter. I can't. It's ridiculous, bro. Frank's so performative. He is the first donkey of the day. I just could not believe he had the audacity to send himself an email because a married couple is at the dinner table, laying in bed, thinking about Frank Turek, disagreeing over Frank Turek. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I can ask my wife if she know who Frank Turek is. She gonna say no. I can ask 25 family members. They gonna say they don't know who Frank Turek is. The likelihood of you and your husband knowing who Frank Turek is almost like hitting the lottery. I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat might think different or might feel different. Maybe they significant other also knows who Frank Turek is. I didn't even know who Frank Turek was. So I think for the likelihood of 2 of them to know who Frank Turek is and they're in bed talking about Frank Turek, come on, bro. You are not that relevant. You are not that relevant at all. Nobody knew who you was until you entered yourself into the situation and Candace brought you up probably in the episode. Nobody knew who you was. So there's no way that anybody has this blind faith of, man, how dare you question Frank Turek? Dog, you just became relevant 10 months ago. What are you talking about, bro? Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knew you as a pastor. Nobody believes that you're a pastor. So I just the BS lie narrative, whatever he's trying to push right now. I cannot stand when people just try to be relevant. Like, Frank, you're relevant for all the wrong reasons. Nobody in this world is talking about you at the dinner table, bro. Like, that's diabolical. I couldn't even imagine if this situation was real and this wife brings up Frank Turek and the husband is like, how dare you question Frank Turek? Frank Turek? How dare you question him? That is a God-fearing man. Like, bro, get the freak out of here, bro. I'm not buying that. But Frank Turek, ladies and gentlemen, is the first donkey of the day. Second donkey of the day. And we'll make sure definitely we might have to have a vote at the very end of this to see who is the ultimate donkey of the day. The second donkey of the day, I'm going to have to give to this individual right here that you guys probably have not seen yet. And I fell for the raised bait for sure. He pissed me off when I seen him. Second donkey today, this individual right here. I'm gonna just play his video, and y'all clearly see he's reacting to one of my videos. And I'm gonna just let y'all listen to it because y'all probably haven't heard this before.
So it's been confirmed that Tyler Robinson was already in jail before the Discord message of his confession.
But you know how hard it is to be that confident and that wrong at the same time? Bro, that's fucking remarkable. And you're very obviously not watching the pretrial hearing because they disclosed the entire fucking timeline. The shot happened at 12:23 p.m. At 3:30 p.m., he texted his partner telling them to look under the keyboard. Between 8:20 and 8:30 p.m., Tyler Robinson logged into his Discord and sent the messages confessing. Then at 9:30 p.m., Tyler Robinson, accompanied by his parents, turned himself in. Like this, the timeline's not even up for debate. This is what we know happened. Everything in this has a fucking timestamp. Every text message, every phone call, every Discord message, every single bit of it is fucking timestamped, including the timestamp on the video of him turning himself in. Bro, none of this is up for debate. Why would you just make shit up like that? Are you just watching Candace Owens and just believing everything she says without even fucking Googling it? Guys, I get it. Conspiracy theories are fun, but just ignoring obvious fucking facts that have already been made public and you see evidence with fucking timestamps is not fun. It's stupid and is only done by stupid people.
Yeah, so this is the second donkey of the day, just because I didn't really know who this guy was. So I seen it. I think I seen it might have been Lisa reposted it or something. I was going through my mentions and I think she tagged me and was like, this person destroyed Jay the Yapper. And I was like, who is this guy? Let me see what he's talking about. And then I'm listening to this guy. I'm listening to the video because I listen to stuff every now and then. Sometimes when it takes a left turn, I've been in the social media game for quite a bit, especially TikTok. When it takes a turn, I just keep swiping. I already know how it is when you put your face out there and you talk about a lot of stuff. It's gonna be a lot of people that don't like you, and you'd be a fool to sit there and go through all the things that that people say about you that they don't like about you. You just be a fool. You destroy yourself. I never understand why celebrities do that. Go through their DMs and be like, I get so many death threats, but I mean, like that's just what happens. Stop reading them. Stop reading them. Like, just know that's what comes with it, and just pay attention to the people that rock with you. So I typically when I see a video take a turn for the worse and they start talking crazy, I just keep swiping. But some days I do be like, let me just see what you said all the way through, and I did. And the craziest thing about this video right here is that this guy, he calls me stupid, and it's funny how they bring up Candace more than people that watch Candace or listen to Candace. They bring up Candace more than anybody. I don't know how many times I've made videos and just specifically said my thoughts and opinions so many times. And these people will automatically bring up Candace. Oh, you watch Candace Owens? I'm like, sometimes. Like, it used to be a lot. Now it's probably like every now and then. Nothing like, or I might go back to see if there's something explosive. If not, is what it is. But then they'll bring up Candy Coat 24/7. I'm like, I think y'all think about Candace way more than Candace's supporters. Like, I think she lives rent free in y'all head. But as he's calling me stupid and all this other stuff,
and that
he goes through this timeline of Tyler Robinson, right? He goes through the timeline and just listen to the timeline again.
Wrong at the same time. Bro, that's fucking remarkable. And you're very obviously not watching the pretrial hearing because
So I'm assuming he's watching it because he's telling me I'm not watching it. Okay, so just, again, listen to the timeline.
It is closed, the entire fucking timeline. The shot happened at 12:23 p.m. At 3:30 p.m., he texted his partner, telling them to look under the keyboard. Between 8:20 and 8:30 p.m., Tyler Robinson logged into his Discord and sent the messages confessing. Then, at 9:30 p.m., Tyler Robinson, accompanied by his parents, turned himself in. Like this.
So as he's telling me I'm stupid and I don't know a timeline, my timeline's jacked up, he goes on to make a TikTok about me and says that Tyler Robinson took the shot, right? Took the shot. And in the same day, turned himself in. That was all I needed to hear. I was like, this guy, who are we talking to right now? Oh, these people. So as he's trying to debunk my timeline and call me stupid, he jacks up his own timeline and says that Tyler Robinson took a shot, and in that same day, he turned himself in. I said, wow, yeah, you for sure have been watching the trial, bro. Tyler Robinson for sure turned himself in and confessed to the group chat all in the same day. And then he said that there's timestamps of absolutely everything, including the footage of him turning himself in. There's not. If you've been watching the trial, that's one of the biggest controversial things is that we don't know what time he turned himself in at all. They showed a video of him in the interrogation room or whatever room he went into. That video was not timestamped at all. The video of him walking into the precinct is scrubbed. Nobody has that. So I was just like, dude, what's the objective here? Right? You're going to talk trash about me, whatever. Dog, you have to have some substance in your debunking. You cannot try to debunk somebody and you completely jack up your own timeline, not making any sense at all. So obviously I responded. Not super proud of the response because I definitely fell for the rage bait, but I don't know, man. Sometimes when people start calling me all types of stuff, stupid, all this other stuff, you know what I mean? I sometimes hit you with the same energy. So I ain't proud of it, but I just don't like folks that don't really know me for real, and you out here saying all types of crazy stuff like that. So I responded. I don't know if he's seen it or not. I don't really care either. But I just said, ain't no way you did all that yapping just to get your timeline wrong. Tyler Robinson turned himself in the same day that he killed Charlie. Shut up. Since you've been watching the hearing, send me the timestamp footage of him turning himself in. Because it's just ridiculous at this point. I mean, I just never heard of such a disappointing guy that tried to debunk something, and it was just ridiculous. And then people started sending me stuff about him that I had no idea about him, as far as his past, and apparently he got locked up. Let me see if I can find it. Really, I don't even want to go through it. I don't want to get this guy too much of my time. He was getting arrested for something at his house, and it was some video of the cops tasing him, and he couldn't stop peeing on himself. He was like, I'm peeing. And the cop was like, it's cool, man. He was like, I'm sorry, man. I can't stop peeing. Like, it was some craziness. He was getting arrested and tased at his house. And I was like, man, these people are jokes, bro. Like, all of these people that come for your character versus coming for your, your points or your claims, they always got some crazy dirt on them that makes them who they are. And so it just cracked me up when I watched that video that somebody sent me. They was like, bro, if you want to know who the older millennial is, just go watch this video. And it was him peeing on himself with the cops. He was getting tased, and he literally was in the video. You could hear him talking about, I can't stop peeing. I'm like, oh, this is embarrassing, bro. Like, please just stop talking to me. So that is your next Donkey of the Day. Look at that. We 36 minutes in. We still on Donkey of the Days. No, I mean, I got one more. Oh my gosh. Just one more. Because we got a lot to talk about, man. I ain't seen y'all since Sunday or Monday. So forgive me. And the main what we talked about in the thumbnail, that is not a crazy long conversation. So that's why I don't mind going through some of these things that I've found on social media. We obviously have Megyn Kelly and Jack Posobiec. They are kind of tied for Donkey of the Days because Man, Megan is just, man, she is just. Let's play Megan first because Megan is. I've been trying to tell a lot of people about Megyn Kelly, man. A lot of people. Folks don't want to, it's hard. It's hard to hear your favorite, turns out to be an op. It's hard to hear it. Let's see. I don't want to watch nothing in 16 minutes of Megyn Kelly. Absolutely not. There's a shorter version of her talking with Jack Posobiec. Let me find it. Been rocking with me about Megyn Kelly, man. Thank you. It has been, man, it's been crazy. Unfortunately, I didn't want to be right, but saw it coming. Tried to give out as many warnings as we could that Megyn Kelly was a fraud. I mean, she's done it. I mean, all you gotta do is listen to her. Every time she does an interview on Charlie Kirk, she exposes herself. And I think the Hodge twins, when they had her on the podcast, that really did it for me. That like solidified it. I had my little, I was skeptical for a while. I was like, it sounds like she's riding the fence right now, like she's sitting on the fence. That Hodge twins podcast, that did it. When she was on there talking about no. She was trying to dang near convince them that Tyler Robinson did it. And they was, they were on the side of like, no, bro, none of that makes sense. Like, and she was dead for real on there trying to convince them that Tyler Robinson did it. So we got Megyn Kelly as the next donkey of the day. And the reason I'm saying that she is donkey of the day is because Jack Posobiec has gone on a lying press tour ever since last Friday in the courtroom with this 4K video that he swore up and down he saw, which we all know that wasn't true, right? Brandy already came out and debunked that. She was in the courtroom with him. He's been community noted on every single platform he's landed on. It's all been community noted. And Megyn Kelly decides to look past all of that and invite him on her show. And I thought that was the dumbest thing you could do. This dude's been community noted by everybody, including his own pages. And then you decide to bring him on to push more Fed slop onto your audience. I'm not one of them. But I just feel bad for the people that really do like her and listen to her. But she brings Jack Posobiec on to lie more. And what makes her donkey today is not only did she bring Jack on after lying, after Jack is on a lying press tour, she brings Jack on at this beautiful time. She brings up Brandy's tweet, who was in the courtroom with Jack, and Brandy's saying that Jack is a liar and all of that stuff. We've been talking about that. She brings up Brandy's tweet, and I'm thinking she's about to challenge Jack Posobiec. She uses Brandy's tweet as like a, Jack, can you believe like the strange responses you've been getting ever since you've been talking about this 4K video? As if Brandy's the strange one. Challenge, like, it's interesting. But take a listen to Megyn Kelly.
I'm shocked to hear it. I'm shocked to hear there is tape of him actually taking the shot. And I know people who don't think he did it will say, well, if somebody, whatever. I mean, I'm with you. The evidence is overwhelming that somebody was Tyler Robinson. They've got timestamps. They've got him identified by his boyfriend.
It's overwhelming
in the video, especially in the dark outfit and so on. We've got video of what we know was Tyler Robinson in Tyler Robinson's car arriving earlier. That it's just his DNA is on the rifle, all over the rifle, actually, all over the ammo. I mean, it's because it's his gun, Megan. It's his gun. So yeah. It's gonna be all over the rifle. It's gonna be all over the ammo. That's what happens. That's what happens, Megan, when you own something. When you own something, the owner usually makes up most of the DNA that's on that object. You're a lawyer, so I thought you would know things like that. This isn't a stolen gun, and we had to figure out whose gun it was. This is Tyler Robinson's gun. So yes, overwhelming. So, but ammo.
She said overwhelming again.
It's overwhelming. So, but I am.
Look, she said overwhelming for a sentence that didn't even need the term overwhelming in it. That's how much of an op she is. She said the sentence that she just used overwhelming in It wasn't even
I'm
necessary.
surprised his DNA is on the rifle, all over the rifle, actually, all over the ammo. I mean, it's overwhelming. So, but I am surprised to hear that there is a videotape of him actually taking the shot, because in all
There's not.
the videos that had been released, we had never seen that, or the still shots. We had never seen that. That's the most relevant, salient video of all.
It really is. And I struggle to think of, you think of the great, like the famous assassinations of the past, or, go back to like World War I and Franz Ferdinand, or, even obviously JFK and Martin Luther King. We never actually have photos of the individual, at least, as far as I know, video of the video
No, I don't think
of
so
the
either.
shot being taken. I'm trying to think if there's even one where you have something like that. And it was so much worse than watching a movie. And I think that for people who think that, watching, I've seen something like that in a movie, or like a Mark Wahlberg movie or something, it's like, no, this is a million times worse. This because it's real, and because what happened to a human being, and because of the amount of planning and the amount of premeditation that went into this. Is I struggle to even think of how to define it as other than watching an act of pure unmitigated evil. But you're just watching a purely evil act being taking place before your eyes, and it was captured on video. And you, by the way, I had no idea if anyone else was standing behind Charlie or behind that. You can't see behind that banner. So, I mean, if you missed, people were obviously all around, children were all around, had no idea if anyone was behind the banner. And he just did it anyway. And he chose to do something like that. And it's,
as you're choosing to lie right now. And this is not even the video where she brings up Brandy. Let me pull that video right quick. It might be in the longer version, but I can skip to that part because she brings up Brandy, which blew my mind, because at one point it's like, okay, maybe she hasn't seen Brandy's tweet yet, pretty much saying Jack is a liar and they're lying about the 4K video. Maybe she hadn't seen it yet. But no. She brings up Brandy. Let me see if I can find it in this video.
hey, Megan, thanks again. And it's pride, and the other one sort of the murder was turned.
He crouched to the moment that Charlie was killed, and I believe he was watching Charlie. You saw that tape, or you might have been in the courtroom in that moment where the judge, the shot.
It was great. Happened to a humor, so
point. Not true.
Here we go.
Benny jumping, named Brandy. Friday, you and I were texting
to do something like that.
Here we go right here. Listen to this is when I really knew Megan lost her mind and just completely got nothing between her ears. Because she brings up Brandy's tweet, and listen to how she kind of describes it.
We're obviously all around, children were all around, had no idea if anyone was behind the banner, and he just did it anyway. And he chose truly evil. It's just truly evil to see.
What do you make of the very strange reaction to your reporting?
Strange.
It came out on Friday. You and I were texting. You posted online, and you gave an interview to Charlie's old colleagues at Turning Point, Andrew and Blake. And immediately we had like backlash. It was strange, Jack, like backlash to your reporting.
Backlash. Now, I'm not new, right? I'm not new to the social media game and all the other stuff. But backlash, I would assume, is like kind of like negative feedback, right? You have a take, it's very controversial, and people just don't like what you said, right? So they're just like, oh, how dare you, Jack? That was so insensitive. And, so, like, that's what I would assume like backlash is. Like, it was a very controversial thing that you said. I don't agree with it. That was mean. That was rude. Whatever, right? But backlash, Brandy being in the courtroom, in the same courtroom as Jack, and Brandy saying Jack is lying. There is no 4K video. I was there. Jack Posobiec, Benny Johnson, Brandon Tatum, all of those guys are lying. It was the same video as the one they've been showing all week in court. It was just a little bit zoomed in. They're liars. And Megyn Kelly says that it's backlash, strange backlash.
There's a podcaster named Brandy Siciliani who posted the following on X. I was in the courtroom today. There is no high quality zoomed in footage showing anyone taking a shot. The video shown is the same distance as the footage of, quote, Tyler, his name is in quotes, jumping off the roof shown in this screenshot. I have no idea why people are claiming otherwise. They know the video isn't going to be released publicly, so they're misrepresenting what was actually shown in court. And then she takes aim at Benny, who is also there, Benny Johnson. Benny is making it seem like there's a 4K quality video of Tyler pulling the trigger.
So is Jack. So is Jack. And Megan's reading this whole thing right now. And Megan's smart, right? I want to make sure I put that out there. Megan is smart. She is one of the people that the reason most of us, you know, used to rock with her, even though she's been very, she's been gaslighting her supporters for a very long time. With some stuff with Michael Jackson, some stuff with Big Jeffrey. So she's been on the chopping blocks for a minute. But there have been other things that she has spoke out on that nobody else will. She's kind of in that same, let's just say, boat, I guess, but a little bit more broad in general, as like Candace, Tucker, and the people in that space that aren't afraid to say stuff. But she has been on the chopping blocks because she's been saying some controversial things. So she's smart. She's very smart. And I just know that when she's reading this, there's no way in the world that she's reading this and she doesn't for 1 second think Brandy is more credible than Jack Posobiec right now. And what Brandy is saying is very compelling and very interesting. And I might have to look into that because what are you talking about? 4K, but Brandy was sitting right next to you. Megan's smart. The problem is that's what makes it even worse. And that's what makes you even more on the side of Megan's an op, because she's well aware that Jack is lying and she's still pushing it. That's how you know you're op. That's how you should know that she's an op. That's how you know that you should know that she's pushing Fed slop. She knows Jack is lying. She knows it. But she's still pushing it. She still platformed him. She knows it. Just like Jack knows he's lying. And he's going on every single podcast lying. He knows he's lying too. But Megan knows better. And she's still choosing to platform Jack Posobiec. She is a fed. I wouldn't say a fed, but she's an op. She's a fraud.
And we all is making it seem like there's a 4K quality video of Tyler pulling the trigger. And we all know that is absolutely not true. So what did you make of her and some others taking issue with your testimonial?
I don't know if Megan says anything. I guess we'll find out. I'm willing to hear her out to see if she has something to say about Brandy. I couldn't believe that she said that was strange backlash, though. What a weird choice of words. But I don't really want to hear Jack, but I guess.
Well, what's amazing is the fact that we have this video at all, and if people are going to split hairs over whether or not we can actually see a finger, in the trigger well and pulling the trigger. I mean,
don't piss me off. That's not at all what Brandy is saying. Don't piss me off, Jack. He's lied enough. I really don't want to hear him right now.
The murder of Charlie Kirk.
We should be grateful that we even have a video. That's not at all what we're talking about right now. We're talking about you lying about a 4K video. I'm not saying that we should be able to see his finger and his sweat dripping down his forehead. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that there is no new video, which that's what you are saying. So don't gaslight me, bro. And
the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the fact that he's still saying it wanted to build the live. People can see it for better, for something.
Lucky it existed. Surveillance
quality were better, but again, I mean that's you're asking for something that's beyond
surveillance video.
Right. The point is that
ridiculous.
exists.
It's surveillance video. We're lucky it exists at all.
Right.
Anything. And some people who refuse to believe that Tyler Robinson did this have been saying for quite some time, oh, but there's no video of the actual shooting. Oh, it's so convenient how they only have him running across the roof. And
what's the argument here? Now Megyn Kelly's talking about it's surveillance video. Well, exactly. It's not 4K. Exactly. That's the point. It's surveillance video, the surveillance video that we've had since last October. That's the point, Megyn. But now they want to switch it and say we should be grateful we have anything at all. Okay, bro.
then we actually find out there is video of the actual moment the shooter drops down and pulls the trigger, and still they won't accept it. I mean, it's just we're never going to.
Because that video doesn't exist, Megyn. There's no video of him dropping down and pulling the trigger. That's what Brandy just tried to tell you. But you listened to what Brandy said. You read it and said that was strange backlash for Jack.
Get through to them. I don't even really care about them, to be honest. I just think, and I want to know your opinion.
Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, all Megyn supporters and fans that have been trying to tell me, I don't know, just trying to defend her and all this other stuff. Just keep in mind what she just said.
Still, they won't accept it. I mean, it's just we're never going to get through to them. I don't even really care about them, to be honest.
Just keep that in mind. Her words, not mine. Okay? She wants this 4K video to get through to y'all. And she doesn't know why y'all won't hear her, hear Jack, and believe it. And she said, if you don't believe it, I don't really care about you. I don't really care about them. Okay, so take that then.
I just think, and I want to know your opinion as somebody who sat in that courtroom all week. To me, the evidence is overwhelming. We never have this much evidence. To me, it's so overwhelming.
Oh my gosh, I can't hear it no more. We got 2 overwhelmings in less than 5 seconds. Enough is enough. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Megyn Kelly is donkey today as well. And I mean, Jack kind of tops. I mean, he's up there, but Jack is just an interesting individual. Jack has done so many things this week. He's gone on a line press tour. There was one thing that was very interesting to me. As he was going on his line press tour, going on all the different platforms, lying about this 4K video, he took a second to tweet something that I want to show y'all. Yeah, so as he's going on his line press tour, did I see that Candace spoke on Megyn? I did. I will play that. As he's going on his line press tour, he then tweets something so strange. One of the following mornings. He tweets, white people have a right to exist, out of nowhere. So he's been lying this whole time, right? I'm sitting here talking about Megyn Kelly and Jack right here on the 14th, July 14th. Then he wakes up on July 15th at 9:48 in the morning and tweets, white people have a right to exist. And the comments is killing him, obviously. And I'm like, bro, what is wrong with this guy? Obviously, like, that was my reaction to it. I'm like, what is this guy? I just don't understand him. Oh, and then Jack's not done. He's not done. Then he comes back in the same day after talking about white people have a right to exist. In the same day, he comes and does a religious tweet and says, Satan and his demons see that those who rebuke them in the name of the Lord, they are the fallen. They seek others to share in their damned fate. They have no power over the Almighty. Christ is King. So Jack goes on a line press tour on Friday and Saturday. He what is that? Friday 15th. Yeah, he goes on a lion press tour throughout the whole weekend. Then he chooses to wake up and try to start a civil war. Then he changes it and says, Christ is king, everybody. All within 1 week. Something is wrong with this guy. Something is genuinely wrong with this guy. And you know, Megan loves that guy. Clearly, Megan has a lot of support with him. And yes, Candace responded to a super chat in her episode last night. And yeah, somebody sent me this clip because I watched some of it, but I didn't see this part until this morning. So Candace responded to Megan, well, not responded to Megyn Kelly, but somebody asked her in a super chat about Megyn Kelly, which I was very proud of whoever that was, because it is very interesting on how Megan is completely on that side now. But let's listen to what Candace Owens had to say about Megyn Kelly.
Les Mo Richie writes, do you think Megyn Kelly will course correct and call out the paid influencers, Jack and Benny, for blatantly lying about what they saw in court last Friday? It is shocking that she's buying the Fed slop, given that she's an attorney by trade and typically more discerning. Okay, I haven't watched because I was obviously on vacation and then I had to play catch up and was trying to watch on vacation the trial, but I did see people pinging me about Megyn Kelly and saying,
I want to put this out there because I've said it before. I do think Candace Owens has watched everything that has happened with Megyn Kelly, with Jack Posobiec on her podcast. I think she saw it. She was very active while she was in Spain, so I'm not buying that at all. However, I think that Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Brandon Tatum are three people that Candace just doesn't really comment about. So I expected this kind of like PR answer as far as like, I don't know what Megyn Kelly's thinking. I haven't really seen it. She saw it because everybody saw Jack Posobiec, and I'm pretty sure Candace saw Jack Posobiec. So Jack Posobiec was in the same frame as Megyn Kelly. So she saw it. But she just wanted to give a PR answer because she doesn't want to attack Megyn Kelly. That's one of the three people that she doesn't really comment on. So I just want to put that out there that I don't buy anything Candace is saying right now. And I expected her to keep it very light with Megyn Kelly.
she's hosting these people. Okay, I think she has a lot of background with these people, so I think she's naturally more trusting and is obviously thinking, I'm just trying to see her perspective maybe.
Candace is being very nice right now. If y'all couldn't tell, Candace does not look down for this long when she talks. She has eye contact most of the time when she talks. She's looking down right now because she's probably disappointed in Megyn Kelly. And I'm, rightfully so. She may have been deceived by Megyn Kelly, similar to how she was deceived by Erica. So she could be very disappointed in Megyn Kelly. I know her and Megyn Kelly didn't agree with each other all the time and all that, but she probably did not expect Megyn to flip like this when Megyn Kelly has been flipping the whole time. So this is kind of like a very telling moment right here when Candace was looking down. She didn't want to look up too much because she knows. She knows.
It is shocking that she's buying the Fed slop, given that she's an attorney by trade and typically more discerning. Okay, I haven't watched because I was obviously on vacation and then I had to play catch up and was trying to watch on vacation the trial, but I did see people pinging me about Megyn Kelly and saying she's hosting these people. Okay, I think she has a lot of background with these people, so I think she's naturally more trusting and is obviously thinking, I'm just trying to see her perspective maybe. I'm getting a scoop to this because these people are actually on the ground, and why would these people be exaggerative? I didn't see it. They're saying this is what they saw. Why would I discount what they're saying? I don't know that she caught what then was leaked afterward about it actually just being a zoomed in version of 12.4 that they saw. I don't know what
she caught that. And again, this is not at all to go back and forth about if Candace actually saw, like, it's a PR answer. Candace is protecting Megyn. She doesn't really want to go at Megyn right now. But Megyn Kelly broadcasted the prelim all week. Okay, she saw exactly what they said about Exhibit 12.4 and that it's the same footage, just a little bit zoomed in. Megyn Kelly knows that. Megyn Kelly also knew everything around Jack Posobiec and all the controversy because she brought up Brandy's tweet, who was also in the courtroom with Brandy saying, I was next to, or I was in the same courtroom as Jack. There is no 4K footage, blah, blah, blah. Megyn Kelly brought that up. So like Megyn Kelly was well aware of absolutely everything. But again, you know, Candace is trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
12.4 that they saw. I don't know what her mindset is, but what I think we can assume, and also it is good to remember, that Megyn Kelly stood up to all of these people and told the truth about what Charlie was fearing in the last days. And that was not an easy thing to do. They came after her hard. They continue to come after her hard every day, demanding that she's deplatformed for telling the most important truth. So what I can say is that I do believe that when this trial goes through, when they make,
and Megyn Kelly, she only defended, I wouldn't even say she had Candace's back. I wouldn't even say that. Megyn Kelly is on camera with Charlie Kirk when Charlie Kirk was stressing in his last month of his life, right? When her and Charlie Kirk had that podcast on August 8th, I believe. So Megyn Kelly took that opportunity to have her platform talk about Charlie Kirk changing his views because it was popular, right? It was a popular thing to do when everybody figured out from Candace that Charlie was changing his perspectives and views. This wasn't something that was gonna, we don't know. We don't know if this is something that she would have done out of the kindness of her heart or genuinely. But what we do know is that it was popular to question the narrative at the time Megyn was on board, right? At the time, Megyn was nothing makes sense. Charlie was changing his perspective and views. He said this to me as SAS. He, all this other stuff. She was just capitalizing on that topic at that very moment. Whatever is trending that week, that's the side that Megyn is on. Because as she was consistent, or as she was talking about Charlie Kirk changing his perspectives and views, she has also been very consistent since day one about Tyler Robinson's guilt. She has not changed that at all. So think about that. How can you be 100% confident that Tyler Robinson did it? Because that's what she has been saying this whole time. But on the flip side to it, you had Candace's back when it comes to Charlie was changing his perspectives. That doesn't really make any sense. If you knew all of this information about Charlie changing his perspectives, then you would not be 100% confident that Tyler Robinson did it. Those two don't go together at all. Now you can say, she's a lawyer, right? So one, she shouldn't be placing guilt on anybody. If you're a former lawyer talking to your supporters appreciate that perspective of your, future former or your past experience and your lawyer expertise. Your supporters appreciate that. So as a former lawyer, you cannot go out here talking about the evidence is overwhelming when it's not, and placing guilt on somebody when he hasn't had his day in court. And you cannot sit here and say that Charlie Kirk had all of these things going on, right? You want to have Candace's back. Charlie Kirk had all of these things going on, but in the same breath say that you 100% are confident that Tyler Robinson is the guy. They don't go together. If you are acknowledging this, then this percent cannot be 100. It can be 50-50. That's fine. It could be 40-60. That's fine. But the second she started saying 100% sure Tyler Robinson did it, which she has been saying since day one, she's a fence sitter. She rides the wave of whatever is trending that week. It was trending to talk about Charlie Kirk's perspectives changing because nobody knew that. She was one of the insiders. So she wanted to be right there with Candace because it was popular to be Candace that week. Because Candace was dropping new information about these perspectives changing. Megyn Kelly wanted to be a part of that. Now it's not popular to be Candace. Nobody wants to be Candace. So now she's 100% on board with the FedSlop.
The decision in September that this is going to go through. and more evidence is presented, I think she will follow that because they can't hide behind, oh, it's just going to be influencers that see it.
No, she won't.
I think she'll change her mind.
No, she won't.
I do. I think that she will change her mind when presented with more evidence. She may not be the first, but I don't think she's going to be trusting influencers to inform her opinion when the trial goes through and is approved.
Yeah, she's been saying 100. First off, again, no, she won't change her mind. She hasn't changed her mind in 10 months. The prelim last week, the worst prelim in the history of prelims that happened last week. And what Megyn Kelly got from that was the evidence was so overwhelming. When court comes, it's not going to be any better. They're not going to come out, if anything, well, they're going to come out with some more crazy stuff that they're going to push. But the biggest thing that I'm trying to get at is that the prelim was so telling at what the prosecution actually has. And for Megyn Kelly to come out and say the evidence is overwhelming to her audience, when I'm pretty sure her audience was like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? Everybody was probably shocked at Megyn Kelly. And for her to say that to her audience, I don't know. I don't see her changing her perspective on whatever Candace is saying. Candace giving her the benefit of the doubt, all that. I don't see it happening, bro. She has had too many run-ins with the ops. She has had too many run-ins with the other side, right? Somebody said it over here. She was covering up for the Pizzagate stuff. She talked bad about Michael Jackson in some ways. She kind of defended Big Jeffrey in different ways. She has said a lot of different things that have been very, very questionable. And I think her supporters are fed up. I think her bringing on Jack Posobiec and her not challenging, bro, what is my dog doing, bro? Her not challenging Jack Posobiec is very telling, especially when she had the evidence right in her face that someone else is in the courtroom that goes against what Jack is saying. And she did not one time, not once, did she question Jack. She used that as some type of validation that Jack is telling the truth because he got strange responses. So no, I'm not buying it at all.
So I'm going to grant her that courtesy because I still think what she did was a tremendous act of bravery following the Charlie assassination. When I was swimming in people calling me a liar about the Israel thing, I feel like her and Tucker Carlson were the only two people that had the courage to tell the truth about what Charlie was going through.
Yeah, but if you don't tell the truth the whole time, then you don't get, this pity party for the one time you told the truth. You don't get nothing for that. So Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly told the truth one time, and then they stopped telling the truth. Tucker Carlson sat across the table from Charlie when he saw Erica be anti that country, and Charlie dies, and he watched Erica flip. That's crazy, right? But he does not comment about that at all. And I think people have to realize one thing that is very obvious and very telling on what side people are on is by how much they love Erica. Let's just be completely honest right here. Erica is the one person at any conversation that you have with anybody that you want to talk to about this conversation. If you ask them how they feel about Erica, that will tell you all you need to know, because the things that have happened in the last 10 months are so concerning. And I'm talking about with Erica specifically, are so concerning that you cannot avoid or deny the feelings you have about that woman. It's so strange. She is just, that is the deal breaker. So for Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson to love Erica so much, just being honest with y'all, that's the deal breaker right there. Because I don't see, I've said this plenty of times, I don't see Tucker Carlson talking about how much he loves Erica, and then what? In a year, he flips on Erica. I don't see that happening at all. Same as Megyn Kelly. I don't see Megyn Kelly talking about how much she likes Erica, and then all of a sudden, because you're going to have to criticize Erica at some point in time. And they don't want to do that. You ain't got to go super deep into it, But it does get to a point where you have to criticize the CEO of Turning Point USA, just like how Charlie Kirk was criticized all the time. But now that Erica's the CEO, she's just somehow protected from all criticism. So it comes to a point where you have to pick a side. You have to criticize TPUSA, which would then be criticizing Erica. Megan and Tucker Carlson will not be doing that. I told y'all about Tucker Carlson for the longest time. That was the one I got the most hate on. And you know, he ended up coming out and saying exactly what I've been trying to tell everybody. I said, I promise y'all, Tucker Carlson is not playing chess. He's just not going to comment on the Charlie Kirk investigation because he loves everybody. And a friend to all is a friend to none. Tucker Carlson talks about loving Erica Kirk. He loves Erica Kirk more than anybody, I think, in his investigation. He loves Erica. He loves Blake Neff. He loves Turning Point. Why would he come out and then talk bad about everybody after that? But he is older than all of us, much older. He's not in that generation where he's okay with being the villain. So he's very comfortable where he's at right now. I promise y'all, he does not want to be the villain when it comes to this controversial stuff. Megyn Kelly talks about loving Erica and all that other stuff too, bro. These people are not going to come out and then flip, bro. It's not happening. It's not fun being Candace. They know that. Okay. They know that. But, I mean, facts. Loving Blake Neff is a huge red flag, but I don't want to, I've talked about Tucker enough. A lot of folks get very sensitive. That was one conversation. Hold on, let me close this door because I can't believe my dog just came in here. You ain't even want to close the door behind you, bro. Like you couldn't even. That's crazy. But people, I made a video on TikTok before, and in my honest, most humble opinion, I think, we found out that Megyn Kelly, Megyn Kelly was not truly Charlie's friend. Like she's one person that just completely disappointed a lot of people. And I think that, I don't know, bro. I just don't see Tucker Carlson ever really coming out and speaking on it. Because if he speaks on it, it would be speaking out against Erica. It's a very, stuck between a rock and a hard place. He is. And, I was talking with Baze about that the other night, too, because he's a Tucker Carlson, supporter as well. And he even admitted he would be gutted if Tucker Carlson was somebody that, flipped to the other side as far as like not speaking up for truth and all of that. And I'm like, yeah, bro, it sucks. But, you got to accept people for like who they are. Once they show you their true colors, you got to believe them. Tucker Carlson used to work for Fox. All of these people used to work for these media networks that pushes propaganda. They were paid to do so. So I'm not really into the, I'm going to assume everybody's a Fed until you prove me wrong. Tucker Carlson, I agree with him with most of the time, but I think when it gets to the Charlie Kirk investigation, he gets, it kind of exposes him a little bit. So I don't know. Interesting stuff. But a lot more things are gonna happen where we're gonna have to have those tough conversations about Charlie's friends. But let's get to the last thing before we get to some random things going on, because I know somebody said Gary's live and stuff like that. And sometimes they do expose themselves when they're on live. So let's get to the last thing before we get to some of these random things going on in the world and on X. But we have something that I'm over here reading the comments. So I was about to say a comment that, but we have something that is definitely explosive coming from Diligent Denizen. He was up in Provo or up in Panguitch, and he went to the smokehouse that Candace said that Tyler Robinson stopped at. That's 3 hours away to grab a steak. And, you know, nobody ever had like the receipts of it. The FBI has never talked about this smokehouse. So that was very interesting too. But here is an employee coming out, you know, I mean, I guess there's no point in saying allegedly, but here's an employee coming out talking about how he saw Tyler Robinson. He served Tyler Robinson. He 100% ID'd and confirmed that it was Tyler Robinson on September 10th, late at night, which would be impossible for Tyler Robinson to be back in Provo around 11 p.m. ish. So let's take a listen to this employee.
I'm here interviewing one of the employees that met Tyler Robinson on the night of September the 10th, around 9 p.m. here at Cowboys Smokehouse in Panguitch, Utah. So how long have you worked at Cowboys?
I've been here about a year and a half now.
A year and a half now?
Yep.
And were you here?
Yes, I was working here. I remembered him coming in, sitting at the bar. He ordered a steak, a couple beers.
Did you sit at the end of the bar?
Close to the end, second seat in. I wasn't the waiter who was taking his order and everything, but I did have a couple interactions with him, just trying to help out. After I'd notified my boss, we reached out to the authorities. He contacted the FBI. They got our contact information, but we never heard anything from them.
You never heard back from the FBI after you reported it?
Never heard anything. And that's kind of what prompted me to send it in. It just didn't sit right with me.
And how certain are you that it was Tyler Robinson that you saw?
100%.
100%?
When I had heard his voice, he was just a weird guy, and I wasn't really paying attention to my phone that day. I'd seen that Charlie had been shot, and I didn't really want to give any of my energy to it until I was done with work. And the next morning, I went to my other job, and my coworker was kind of talking to me about it. He pulled up a picture. He said I looked like I was a little shocked by it, because I recognized the face. And then later that night, or that day rather, they released a video of him getting his college acceptance letter. And when I heard his voice, it was no doubt in
Dead
my mind
ringer
that was him.
And do you know what time he left?
It was close to closing, so it was around.
What time do you guys close?
10 o'clock. I was the one who helped him check out too.
And you were the one that helped him check out? So
Yep.
you're the one that you took the card from him?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's just like I told. I took the card. I figured that would be good information for the feds to look into it. And
they never checked into it, not once?
I don't know if they checked into that. I know they got that information from my boss.
So they got the information, but you don't know. You never heard back again?
Never heard anything from them. No.
The defense, did the prosecution ever reach out to you guys to come testify or anything like that?
No one's reached out to us at all.
Has the defense hasn't reached out to you?
No.
No one's reached out to you whatsoever, even
No.
though you saw him that night?
Yeah, no one's reached out regarding anything to do with Tyler Robinson.
My bad, I'm muted. So that's very interesting. And yeah, I saw that as well. I saw somebody put a tweet out. I couldn't verify that at all, but somebody put a tweet out that was like, "Oh, this guy's lying. There is no receipt. All of this is completely fake."
I'm here interviewing.
All of this is completely fake. You know, whatever. And I want to pull up the receipt as well, just so y'all can see it. I don't know how good it would look on here. Here's the receipt, and it shows. I guess there's no reason to screenshot and zoom in and all that, but you can see the order says it was placed at 9:10 on September 10th at 8:55 p.m. When he checked out, it was 9:47. 9:47 p.m. when he checked out and left the smokehouse. So, you know, where I stand as far as everybody going crazy over the internet on this and trying to say that Diligent is lying and all that stuff. I'll tell you right now, the number one indicator, in my opinion, that proves that he's telling the truth is because they started bringing out mugshots and they started attacking his character. I think that's always like a self-snitching tool, one-on-one. You know, you went right over the target when they start personally attacking you. And so I think it was Paramount Tactical and somebody else brought up like an old Diligent Denizen mugshot. And I'm like, dude, that's not debunking anything when you want to bring up stuff like that. That further proves that this guy must have some validity in what he's talking about. But when they start attacking like that, it's like, oh, something's there. That's been the trend this entire investigation, is that when something is presented that that is somewhat true and we're not supposed to know, they have this coordinated attack. So when I saw the coordinated attack, I'll be honest, I immediately believed it as far as Diligent and Denizen. And then secondly, from people like us, why would we not believe it? I would say believe it and then have them prove it wrong, prove us wrong. I don't think when somebody's trying to prove, like, we already suspect that these text messages are weird, right? The text message with Tyler Robinson that I'm about to pull up, Tyler Robinson in the last 2 weeks. We already suspect that all of this is weird. Not only the text messages, all of this is weird. So if you can acknowledge that all of this is weird, then I just don't understand why people would not give this the benefit of the doubt and have the people that's trying to lie to us prove this wrong. That's how I view it. Why would I not give them the benefit of the doubt? The people are giving the feds the benefit of the doubt when the feds have been before Tyler Robinson, the feds have lied to us. But now all of a sudden, people are saying, trust the feds. So how about I trust Diligent Denizen, who hasn't lied this whole time? He's not a proven liar. He doesn't have a track record of lying like the FBI that all of a sudden now we're told to trust. So I think people should give more independent sources more credit versus immediately dismissing it and saying they're lying. And again, this was another conversation I had with Baze last night. I was like, no, I don't trust Tucker Carlson. I don't trust any of those people that have these large, super large platforms. If anything, I trust more independent people like us normal people, because you can't pull up anything on me to say, man, Jay used to lie like crazy to his audience. You can't pull up anything like that. I've been the same person forever. But you can pull up Tucker Carlson. You could pull up Megyn Kelly. You could pull up these people. These people have a crazy past of being a former liar, right? Like, or a former propaganda pusher. So, that's just how I view it. So, I think that Diligent Denizen is telling the truth because, when Candace presented this whole smokehouse thing a couple of months ago or a few months ago, a lot of people try to brush right over it, because I remember someone said they talked to like the grandma, Tyler Robinson's grandma said something about he was down there trying to help her with something. I don't know, but all of it's very strange. And this person saying he 100% ID'd Tyler Robinson should be very compelling, because you have Lance Twiggs who can't even 100% ID Tyler Robinson. So if this person's saying I can 100% confirm that it's Tyler Robinson, and the feds, another telling thing for me is that the feds have not cared about this at all. I mean, what more do we want here? The feds don't care about this. It's the same thing when Tyler Robinson pulled into the plaza. Right after the bang, he pulled into the plaza and was waiting, and the car came in behind him and left. The feds went in, talked to those people at the plaza, but nothing happened from that. The footage at the precinct that's scrubbed, the feds don't care about that. The footage that was wiped at the hospital, the feds don't care about that. Pattern recognition here, people. The smokehouse is saying that they have reported this several times, that Tyler Robinson could, even if, let's just say it's a lie. Let's not even say it's a lie, because it's a theory, it's a guess. let's just say they said, hey, I think we saw Tyler Robinson here. I think he was here. He looked like the guy that fit the description on the TV. You would think the feds would just care and run that down to see if there was something there. They have never cared. So that's very interesting to me. And I saw somebody say that the owner said that he was something. The owner said that all of this is a lie after talking with the feds. Is that true? I saw somebody comment that. But if that's true, then I mean that's also very telling. The owner changes his stance after talking to the feds, of course. But the problem is, if all of that is true, which I do believe it is, then we have a huge problem, because I'm gonna pull up these text messages of Tyler and Lance Twiggs, allegedly. Where they at? Here they go, right here. Okay. Here they go, right here. I'm trying to save them so I can pull them up for y'all. These text messages between Tyler and Lance Twiggs are going to get very interesting if this comes out to be true, which, again, I believe that it is. Diligent Denizen also took a picture of himself out in Panguitch at the steakhouse. He was the person recording the employee. So when you have people like Diligent Denizen that is traveling out to Panguitch doing this stuff, and he's being told that he's a liar, he's being told to not be truthful, but then you got people like Mr. Tactical Man, right? Mr. Tactical Man, Paramount Tactical, he literally is a tactical man. And he has not once went out in the field, tried his best to recreate the crime scene, shoot 1,000 rounds of 30-06s into whatever he wants, and just show us it getting stuck in something soft as a human neck. Just show it to us. I know it's hard to perfectly recreate the scene, but instead of shoving down everybody's throat that a 30-06 can get stuck in the human neck, it's possible, even though he said it was impossible early on, and then he changed his narrative right after visiting UVU. Instead of shoving it down everybody's throat, instead of being a conspiracy debunker, how about get out in the field, shoot 1,000 30-06 rounds, and show us your results and educate us, Mr. Tactical Man? So when I see people like Diligent Denizen, who is traveling out to Panguitch, having conversations with the smokehouse, yeah, I believe him. He's traveling out there doing his own work, trying his best to fight for truth. And he travels all the way out there, records this interview, takes a picture of himself there. He gets the receipt, all this stuff going on, just for him to get to the internet, present this to the internet, right? Thinking that everybody's going to be on his side, just to get hated on by everybody and being told that he's a liar. I would be pissed. I would be livid. So I believe him, and I appreciate your work, Diligent. They haven't proven a lot of things. Erica hasn't proven where she was on 9-10 or 9-9 and 9-8. She hasn't proven where she was. Andrew Kovac hasn't proven where he was. All of their lies. But now all of a sudden, Diligent Denizen gotta bend his back to prove that his interview at Panguitch at the smokehouse was real. And he's catching hell when he's given us more than anybody from TPUSA to defend and support his claim, which is Tyler Robinson. Well, you know, Candace might have presented the claim, but he's supporting all of the evidence as well. He's supporting it by traveling out to Penguins, getting this interview, getting the receipt, getting testimonies. But now all of a sudden he's a liar. He's done more than anybody at TV USA. I think I saw it on Paramount Tactical's page. I don't think he was the one that posted it, but I think I saw Paramount Tactical like quoted it or reposted it or something like that. And right, Valhalla is out shooting rounds and proving that it's not possible. Like Mr. Tactical Man could do the same thing, but he's not. Right, Brandy's the same one. Brandy's out in the courtroom, traveling, sleeping in front of the courtroom. I'd be pissed if I was her too. Sleeping in front of the courtroom every single day. Some days she got in, some days she didn't. Friday she got in. She shows her wrist. She has to prove she was there, right? She's over here talking about Jack's lying. I was in the courtroom. She gets hated on all day on Friday and Saturday, saying she's a liar. She has to go beyond measure of showing that she was in the courtroom by showing her bracelet, all types of stuff. And I'm like, Brandy, you ain't even got to do all that, bro. You ain't even got to do all that, bro. TV USA has never done that. They've never bent over backwards to prove to us that they're not lying. They just go silent. So I just want us to have the same energy. We ain't got to do that. Bring it to the table. If they want to believe it, they can believe it. If they don't, they don't. Well, it's no need to stress each other out and stress yourself out, because that's what they're going to do. That's their goal. Here are the text messages that are going to be a serious problem if that interview, that testimony from that Penguich employee is true, because you can see right here, clear as day. I think that's clear. Let me see if I have a better option. Yeah, this might be, that's good, but this might be a little better. Okay. So Wednesday at 4:33 p.m. Right? We got to remember here, Tyler Robinson is claiming, Lance Twiggs is claiming that he woke up at 1 p.m. on 9/10. How convenient, Mr. Man, woman, whatever you are. I swear he's not transitioning. They're talking about transgender furry. Nothing looks like, nothing on Lance Twiggs look like he's transitioning or he's deciding or making any type of decision at all. He seems like a regular guy. But he says he woke up at 1 p.m. on 9/10. Very convenient. They didn't even ask him what he did the night before to be so tired. But that was just very weird and convenient. So he wakes up at 1 p.m. So he just so happened to miss the big event, which is Charlie Kirk being whatever happened to him, eliminated. Tyler Robinson, Texas at 4:33. Very weird to allegedly pull off this assassination, and 4 hours later you're like, I love you, moi. And for Lance Twiggs to not know where Tyler Robinson is, because he said he woke up super early at about 5 a.m. Clearly he was awake to know what time he left, but he left at 5 a.m. He's been gone all day. Longer than usual, but clearly he's not worried about it, because he texts back, I love you more, moi. So he's not concerned at all about where Tyler Robinson is. But this is at 4:33 after testifying that he didn't get the first text into this. So he lied under oath, which, whatever. They don't care. But he says that this is an auto message. Drop what you are doing. Look under my keyboard. How would Lance Twiggs know that this is an auto message? I don't know. Tyler Robinson hasn't spoke at all. I don't think I've ever heard him speak this entire 10 months. But somehow Lance Twiggs knew that this was an auto message when nothing in this picture would even tell you that it's an auto message. But at 11 p.m., when he just left Panguitch, right? Let's just add it to the story, add it to the timeline. He left Panguitch at 9:47. It takes 3 hours to get to Provo, to Orem. So it's not in that 3 hour window, he's in that 3 hour window. So he would be traveling, and he says, "Drop what you are doing. Look under my keyboard." So this is Tyler Robinson. Let's just playing into the story now. Tyler Robinson is driving, but somehow he sends an auto text saying, "Drop what you were doing. Look under my keyboard." Lance says, "What? You're joking, right? How would you know what he's talking about? What if he's like, drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard because I left you a love letter?" Why does it seem like he knows exactly what Tyler Robinson is talking about? That's very strange. Also, if Lance Twiggs is at his house, and he didn't wake up until 1 p.m. on Wednesday on 9/10, who's to say that he's not talking to himself right now? Right? What if Tyler Robinson has an iPad, a computer, a MacBook? Like, we don't even have the timestamps of him responding back. But whatever. I don't know if we'll ever find that out, but this is just nothing really to verify here. This doesn't really prove anything. Tyler Robinson says, I tried to delete that. So I guess that's where the quote unquote auto text is coming from. Then let's pull up the next one. Then he says, "I am still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet." We don't have a timestamp for this message at all, but this would all be a lie because he is traveling. And if we're believing this timeline, which again, I do. So he's traveling. So how is he stuck in Orem when he's traveling from Panguitch right now? "Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this a secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you." You didn't have to involve them. You got away. They can't even prove that you were on the scene. They can't even prove that you were on the roof, but you decided to tell Lance. Okay. But should it be long until I can come home? But I got to grab my rifle. So he is claiming to still be around Provo. He's claiming to still be around the crime scene. They have people in court talking about his challenger was on the scene between 11 and 12 o'clock on campus, and then he was found on that Ring doorbell camera. The bald man driving with 3 people in the car. Around 1 a.m. on the Ring doorbell camera. So again, if he's coming from Panguitch, who is texting all of this stuff? "You weren't the one who did it, right?" "I am. I'm sorry." I mean, look, if you didn't want to tell Lance this, you had all of this time right here to delete this and not send it, right? But you chose to send it anyway, even though you said you wanted to take it to the grave, because you could have took it to the grave, but you chose to send 2 messages. Then Lance says, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" You could have just not replied or responded at all, right? If you wanted to take it to the grave, but he chose to respond and say, "I am. I'm sorry. I thought they caught the person. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude. Then interrogated someone in similar clothing." How would Tyler Robinson know this? How would Tyler Robinson know who was being interrogated in similar clothing? Like this, I mean, We can go all day about this because, I mean, clearly he wasn't the one that wrote this. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering in the dark. Yeah, so Tyler Robinson didn't type any of this stuff. It's all weird, right? It's all fake and gay, obviously. I don't believe it whatsoever, but it just makes it a little bit more eerie when you realize that who wrote this. We already been wondering that since the second he said, "I'm still okay, my love, just stuck in a little Well, what did he say? But I am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet." So as soon as we saw this, we knew somebody else was typing. But now that we know that he was, in my opinion, he was traveling this entire time. So who is sending these messages? And this is the best we can get. We can't even get a timestamp for every single message. Remember Older Millennial in the beginning part of the podcast, the beginning part of the show? Older Millennial said everything is timestamped. Look at this. Nothing is timestamped. Just a picture of a phone. And of course, what is usually right here on an iPhone that just so happened to be cracked as well. Of course. Not a long night for Lance Twiggs. He got full battery. I don't know what time he in the interrogation room, but he got full juice right here, full battery. But whatever. Yeah, but it's just gonna get really tricky. Will there need to be a response? Yes, but will there be? No. Unfortunately, I think because we got to think about like who would have to respond to the employee of the smokehouse coming out saying that they saw Tyler Robinson. It would have to be the feds, right? This is not a TPUSA thing. They can comment on it and they can say that the guy's lying all they want to, but if we want to be just completely honest, they're not the ones that are going to have to come out and acknowledge or say anything about the case and how this messes up the case or how this adds value or it takes away from the case. That would be the feds. The feds would have to come out and say, well, someone came forward that positively ID'd Tyler Robinson at this time, and we're going to have to do some investigating because that goes against these text messages. Like, it would have to be them. Like, this whole case outside of TPUSA is, will the feds be arresting the feds? That's pretty much it. Like, will the feds be arresting each other? That's the only conclusion out of all of this because they're in on it. So it's nothing is going to happen unless the feds were to come out and acknowledge what we're listening and hearing, but they won't. That's why they haven't called the smokehouse. They don't care. But I think all we can do is just continue to present these things, let everybody know what's going on, keep everybody updated. So that way we can at least figure out what the truth is. We might not know the whole truth, but we'll be able to kind of have a timeline together on what actually happened to Charlie, who actually did it, who's all guilty. That's really the only thing we can do. We can get street justice as far as us personally knowing, but as far as real justice, it ain't gonna happen, bro, unless the feds start arresting each other. But what that guy just said, that should have been all over the news. Instead of Fox News running the Turning Point USA every time Andrew Kovac or Jack Posobiec got to say something, instead of Fox News doing that, they should be running to Panguitch, Utah, trying to figure out who this employee is, being the first to cover the story. There was a point in time, our news has always been bought and paid for, right? Mainstream. But there was a point in time where I feel like our media was somewhat transparent. Like it would be the first to go places to like get the scoop, but it's just not the same no more. And I think that's why podcasters and independent investigators are on the rise because mainstream media has just lost the plot. They have exposed their hand. You know, if I was working for mainstream media right now, I would be the first person out to Penguins. And then I'd probably be fired by the next day. Because they don't want y'all, they don't want people looking into this. It's sad. It's sad. It really is. But hopefully we'll just keep on pushing and figure out what happens from here. They're gonna probably continue to go at Diligent Denizen, calling him a liar, all types of stuff. But again, y'all know where I stand. I think he is telling the truth. I think he has shown more truth than TPUSA in the last 10 months. So if I want to bank on who is acting out of good faith and who is blatantly lying between Diligent Denizen and Turner Point USA, or the people that's attacking Diligent Denizen, I'm going to say Diligent Denizen is the one that is very genuine and acting out of good faith, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Turner Point USA doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt. So I'm going to go with him. I'm going to rock with him. And so, yeah, we will see. We shall see. Someone said Gary is live. Let me see if he still is. If not, then we can get to the comments. If he is, then we will check out the last little bit. Oh, yeah, he still is live. Let's see.
Much aware of, now they've been researching a lot. I'm very much aware of the threats that Charlie got. I mean, I'm not aware of the extent, but the person that
Blake Neff is in this chat again. Blake Neff is in the space. Last time, this space was just straight, like, we just gonna talk bad about Candace. We're not gonna ask Blake Neff any questions. It was the lamest thing ever. When two people finally got up there to ask real questions, they let them talk for like 10 seconds, and then they kicked them off because they wasn't trying to hear all of that. So I'm only going to listen to this for a little bit. If it's the same as last time where everybody just glazing Blake Neff and not asking any tough questions and talking about Erica, loving Erica so much, then we're not finna listen to this BS.
I sought to track down, try not to give, the person I sought to track down made a specific comment, was following Lance and was very close to the university that day. They have not, and when I tracked them down, I mean, I was literally almost ghosting X there for a week, 10 days, 12 days, tracking them down. They've made no mention of the FBI to me. They absolutely have no motivation to speak to me. I'm trying to be careful what I say, because basically what I've said to them is, hey, I just want to talk to you. I won't release your name to anybody. But I figured out with this help who you are. And that led me to reach out to somebody else who was kind of doing his own investigation, was on the other side. I said, hey, I'd like you to go with me to this. Because I felt there's always something more there. Maybe this is where I don't see eye to eye with a lot of people. I absolutely think Tyler Robinson did it, but I happen to think that there was more involved there than meets the eye. And I think that the targeting of TPUSA is, I think they're going after them for reasons. You know, when you want to undermine a country, the first thing you do is you go after the youth. And Charlie was so effective, and TPUSA was so effective and has become so effective that I honestly believe there's more to this than just Tyler Robinson.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been saying for months now, Mr. Exclusive, and you're exactly right. I mean, there's, Charlie Kirk was personally responsible for 2.5 million votes. We beat Kamala Harris by 2.3 million votes. If you want to divide the right, destroy the MAGA movement, which all of the globalists hate, including
He is on a press tour, ain't he?
Europe, when we saw what the MI6 did, sharing intelligence that was damaging to.
You're right. He shouldn't be talking at all. He literally was a witness, but whatever, bro. I'm gonna give it this like 2 more minutes because the other night we got that live up too. That was like Tuesday, I believe. We sat here for 2 hours, and it was just a straight Fed slop fest. So I'm not doing that again.
Donald Trump intentionally with the Obama administration, and ultimately within his own administration with James Comey and Clapper and the rest of these scumbags. But yes, this is why they're going to boost Candace Owens. This is why they're going to boost Baron Coleman. This is why they're going to invite Candace Owens to Russia. This is a psychological operation, and they're using their own freedoms against this. Russia has their internet locked down. China has their internet locked down, but ours is open. And by the way, our government doesn't seem to be engaging in fifth generational warfare the way that they are, and they're doing it well. And I think for the first time, the reason this is so effective, I think this is the first time where we're seeing this is not a Russian op, this is not a Chinese op, this is not an Islamist fascist op, this is not a European op. This is them coordinating and working together, and that's why we're seeing it so effective.
So I just maybe at Paramount you've vetted Mr. Exclusive and everything like that. Maybe we should just have a private call about a couple of things on this topic that I just don't want to. I didn't know you were live streaming, but just because the analysis that I made from like day one, had borne fruit, and so the most important thing is that Tyler Robinson is responsible for shooting Charlie Kirk. Okay. Yep. Period. Full stop. Period. Full stop.
Yep.
These statements, and I don't know, Mr. Exclusive, you've seen the statements that came out of Rep. Anna Luna, but she had done a small podcast where she said, we've picked up signals intelligence that the Chinese and Russians had within seconds of Charlie Kirk's assassination, started a cognitive warfare campaign. Okay, those statements didn't come out of nowhere. They literally came from MySpace. Okay, so the reports and analysis around tracking narrative shaping, including when you're dealing with people using very advanced cognitive warfare tools, like Kajuju or Gola.
Hold on, man. Muppet Masher, please tell Blake I was just trying to fill gaps in the timeline. It wasn't meant to be a gotcha question. Sorry, Blake. Muppet Masher. Yeah, that's the same guy. Bro, why are we giving Gary money, bro? And like, what's up with this, man? Muppet Masher's he's a pretty cool dude. On X. He has some great stuff, but and he's the person that was like, Blake, where were you going to Utah? And Blake couldn't answer and stuff like that. I don't know, bro. I just don't like when people like try to play both sides and try to be buddy and all that. Like, I don't know, man. To each his own, I guess. But Blake don't deserve any grace at all. Gary does not deserve. Like, imagine. I just look at it like this, bro. Imagine me. Y'all know me. Imagine y'all was listening to Gary somehow, and y'all saw I sent in a super chat to Gary. Unless I was like going at Gary and I really wanted him to see it. But imagine like y'all saw a super chat for me and I was like very friendly to Gary. Like I'm pretty sure y'all be like, what, bro? Like, what's up with you? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's what I would expect y'all to hold me to. I would expect y'all to hold me to that standard of what are we doing here? Why are we giving Gary anything? Why are we being nice? Why are we being, I don't know, bro. That's just how I view it. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's strange when I see stuff like that.
I think that the targeting of TPUSA is, I think they're going after them for reasons. When you want to undermine a country, the first thing,
the groups that were aligned at the university and other stuff like that.
Bro, I'm not trying to hit you folks, man.
I just don't want it to ever derail the actual case, because the way that disinformation operations will work and how you strip this man and his family of their legacy and TPUSA of their legacy.
Bro, all of these people are like widow warriors. I've seen all these people before. This person talking right here. Let me pull it up some more. This person talking right here. Oh,
see.
This person talking right here, widow warrior. She talked for like an hour, maybe like 30 minutes last time about some BS that we all had to suffer through on Wednesday or Tuesday. This Brita person right here, she a widow warrior. You'll see her tweets every time. It's always defending TPUSA. Anytime these people 100% of the time defend TPUSA, I mean, that gives away your hand too, bro. Because nobody is 100% right. You shouldn't be agreeing with nobody 100% of the time. And that's what these people do. Agree with these people 100% of the time. Agree with Erica 100% of the time. She's a widow warrior. She's a widow warrior. We already know Blake is a Shalami soldier. That's a different one for him. Was like, I mean, it's
is by muddying the waters. And so that's why, like, all these insane individuals that have insane belief systems that speak in most bizarre, insane ways on Discord channels and plot and plan and want to live stream, young people harming themselves and then encouraging them to do mass terrorist attacks is something that I think all of us are committed to, including the FBI, to stopping this from happening. We're flying all over the world, picking up these handlers. Some are in the US. Yes, a lot of them are Russians. Yes, mostly Russians, but it's not necessarily just that. So that's why I'm asking you this, like, to have a private, I'm not saying anything more than I would normally say in a space, but there's things that my concern is that this case goes properly.
You're right. It is Friday. Got to lighten up.
And I have no investment in it other than for Mrs. Kirk and her being a widow and her having children, and that you cannot commit political violence on the right or the left because you create that environment, and it is catastrophic to America's integrity. So, but first comes her and her children, and second comes the nation. That's how I see it. So, yeah. So I just wanted to say that.
I agree with you 100%. And I hope I didn't, when I say there's more to this, I'm talking more about what's happening now with TPUSA and, the money behind some of the misinformation. And he did it. There's no doubt. I mean, I'm not going after that. I'm trying to find out more about what's going on and where the money's linked and where I think possible connections are after the fact. Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm more interested in right now. So, but I understand your point and your concern. So,
yeah. So that's good that you bifurcated that. Yeah. And if you're looking for the money and all that kind of stuff, that also is already been, it's already been organized out. Just like there's so much data on that in regards to you talk about individual influencers.
I'll get you linked up with Mr. Exclusive for sure. We can have that discussion. Adam, go ahead, buddy. Or Bronson, whoever speaks first. Adam's hands.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Adam? How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Doing good. How are you doing, Gary?
What are the odds that this person is speaking from the other side? Or is this just going to be another widow warrior Fed slot pusher? Place your bets.
Good, man.
Dude, props to you for taking on this fight. I really appreciate you, just kind of spearheading this fight against the disinformation. There's a real conspiracy out there with these ex-posts from the DSA, the Trantifa, whatever you want to call them. And I think it's pretty telling that people like Baron Coleman, Candace Owens, Sam Parker, Project Constipation, whatever, they're just ignoring these people that Jen, the producer, brought up that were posting about this in advance of the event, the shooting, whatever you want to call it, YouTube terms and conditions. There's a real conspiracy out there, beyond the fact the school system, the indoctrination that led Tyler Robinson to think this was his best solution to counteract Charlie Kirk. You know, there were real people that posted about this before the event. There's a real conspiracy out there that these people are totally ignoring. And I think that's really telling. But, you know, Baron Coleman, he made 40, 50 minutes of content over a six second clip of my video that, you know, happened to traverse over the alleged sniper's nest. And, you know, look no further than the recent Political article covering what happened to Terrell Farnsworth, a video that I recorded where he was inundated with death threats and, you know, hate messages and all kinds of stuff. You know, you have Candace kvetching over a Politico article where she's being called like promoting digital assassination, whatever. I can't remember the exact terminology, but it's pretty funny that these people are totally ignoring what actually happened in the real world, and they're constantly trying to create these fake narratives with this receipt and, you know, whatever else with Project Constipation and
it's crazy.
Diligent Dipshitism, you know.
Bro, my eye is red.
It's pretty funny.
That's crazy.
They're ignoring the real world and what's happening.
Bro, I don't know, man. This is what I'm talking about. I'm definitely not finna do what we did last time and listen to this dude bring up people that's just gonna meat ride Gary and meat ride Blake and all this other stuff, bro. Like, what are we talking about? But buddy, 40 years old, talking about Project Constipation. If you don't just say his name, right? If you don't just say Project Constitution and just keep it moving and just say what you got to say, these people are so old and they got all these nicknames. The Candy Cult. If I got to hear that one more time from people like Gary, I'm like, dog, you are 40. 40. Just I don't know, bro. These people, man. There is actually one more thing I wanted to play. I know it's getting late. 2 hours. I know it's getting late. Thank y'all for hanging in there with me. I forgot about one person that I'll probably end up making a regular video for her as well. Let me see. Matter of fact, where is it at? Yeah. I probably make look. So we got Allie Beth Stuckey. I saw her come up on the feed on the For You page or on the timeline as well. And it definitely gets very interesting when you have people like Allie Beth being sent out from TPUSA to do some debunking. So I had to click on it and listen to it because Allie Beth, I just could not believe she was sent out to answer questions about this case. So let's take a listen to Allie Beth debunk so many different theories.
The suspect's limp shifts from one leg to the other in the surveillance video.
I know. Listen, I know my voice is kind of annoying and all of that, but I feel like hers is probably a little bit more annoying. So I do apologize that y'all have to listen to this for 8 minutes. Try your best to get through it because it is very hard to listen to this woman.
Okay, so here's one claim that I've been seeing circulating. The suspect's limp shifts from one leg to the other in the surveillance video that we showed. That was allegedly Tyler Robinson putting his rifle in his pant leg to conceal it and walking down the stairwells or walking up the stairwell on UVU's campus. Some people are saying that the limp shifts in one shot from one leg to the other. So this is what I would say to this. The purpose of faking a limp would be to allegedly hide the weapon. On a flight of stairs, he would have to favor the specific leg that could bend less.
Wow. You know, Allie, I don't know why I didn't think of that. Why I didn't think of that. The purpose of the limp is to hide the weapon. Gotcha. I don't think I could have put that together myself at all. Thank you so much, Allie.
Flat ground where he could more stairs, he would have to favor the specific leg that could bend less. On flat ground where he could more easily walk without bending the other leg, he might switch which leg he was bending in order to appear to be limping. It's also been shown that you are actually able to bend your leg even if you had this kind of rifle in your pant leg. So it is possible that he switched legs, he tried to change things up, he forgot which leg he was trying to bend. The limp is not necessarily because the rifle was in that pant leg. The limp was probably to hide the weapon altogether. And so he was limping around and he could have forgotten, and he could have, because he was lying, he could have switched legs. And that alone, even if that is a question of like, why would he switch legs? That does not discount all of the evidence that has been put forth and even the testimony of people like Lance Twiggs about the veracity of the identity of the person in this surveillance video. It's also just important to note that the defense team, when watching the surveillance footage, they had the opportunity to say, hey, look at that. That's a changing limp, or that's a bent leg. That obviously isn't him. Because then they would be saying, what, this is like a fake person limping and forget, like it, that would be a whole different theory that they would be pushing into. And they didn't do that. They didn't say, hey, look at that changing limp or look at that bent leg.
Man, the mixture of her voice and intelligence is just like so discouraging, man. I got to make sure my son stays away from these people. he's smarter than her right now. This is ridiculous. This is okay. So I can't stand when they bring up what the defense was doing in the prelim, because for months they continued to try to tell us the prelim was coming, and when the prelim came, the evidence that they presented was trash, and then they tried to say, "Oh, it's just a prelim. Wait for the trial." It just kept on going and going and going. So, and now it's like this reverse, like this. It's like this whole. I want to say reverse psychology, but it's kind of like a gaslighting, I guess. When it's like it's the prelim, like the defense had the opportunity to say such and such and blah blah blah, and it's like, but no, that's not what the purpose of the prelim is for. The defense is not going to argue every single claim at the prelim. There is more than enough probable cause, right? Because the probable cause you don't need that much. So the probable cause can just be Lance being like, shoot, yeah, Tyler Robinson, he told me he did it. Shoot, judge probably be like, yeah, well, I got to, Charlie Kirk, he's definitely not about to go down in the history of him being eliminated and we have nobody in jail. So he does need to go to trial so we can figure out what's going on. So there was too many things out there for the judge to pass up on the probable cause and just completely exonerate Tyler Robinson. It makes no sense at all. So the defense is not going to sit here and argue every single bit of details from the prosecution team in a preliminary hearing. If you already know you're going to go to trial because the DNA of Tyler Robinson was on the gun, and maybe that can just be enough for probable cause, or the towel or the screwdriver, it's like, you know what? That's enough for probable cause, probably because of this whole gun situation and all of that. So let's just hang back, right? Wait to trial, because if that's what they got, then we got a free get out of jail pass. Y'all gonna sit here and argue about the limp. We got something for that. We got something for this. But this whole topic or this whole argument that TPUSA and Allie Beth wants to say, the defense didn't bring this up. The defense didn't bring this up. And it's like, of course they didn't. Why would I show you everything that I have, my entire hand that I have that's going to defend this argument, so that way I give you another year to prepare for my counter arguments. I wouldn't do that. So I'm gonna just let you do what you do. Let you feel like you got Tyler Robinson, because y'all got a couple of things that the judge is probably gonna say, grant you probable cause and take this to trial. And when we get to trial, that's when I'm going to debunk or argue all of your claims. And my client is going to get off scotch-free. But this whole thing with the defense should have said something every second, everything that they ever said. It's like, no, bro, if it's terrible in the prelim and he still goes to trial, this should be an easy case for the defense.
And if they thought that would help their client, then they would have presented that, and they didn't.
No, that would hurt their client. That would hurt their client if they were to argue everything. And that way the prosecution team, like I said, would then say, oh, well, we know all the things that they're going to argue, so let's come up with the counter argument. And now the defense has to come up with a counter argument for something they haven't even prepared for yet. I didn't go to lawyer school or law school, but these are things that are like, I think you should know this by now. You know, Law and Order teaches you these type of things.
Claim is that the bullet did not match the rifle. The Daily Mail ran a story on March 30th with the headline, "The bullet used to kill Charlie Kirk did not match the rifle allegedly used by the suspect," new court filing claims. However, the report was actually inconclusive, and it is incorrect to say that the bullet did not match the rifle. It is very common when the fragments are reportedly too small or too deformed after a shooting to allow for a clear answer. So the report will say inconclusive. This does not mean that they didn't match the rifle. According to a 2022 study, examiners found inconclusive results in about 20% of cases like this. According to Christopher Ballard, a spokesperson for the Utah County Attorney's Office and part of the prosecution team, an inconclusive result from bullet fragment analysis does not mean that the rifle did not fire the bullet. Another claim is that it's not possible that a 30-06 round would.
Okay, I'm just not even going to say nothing about that second claim.
Not have produced an exit wound, because we've heard from the beginning there was no exit wound in the body of Charlie Kirk, that his neck actually stopped the bullet.
I don't like the way you say exit just now. There was no exit wound.
From the beginning, exit would not have produced an exit wound, because we've heard from the beginning there was no exit wound in the.
It ain't no G in exit. It was no exit wound. I don't like how she said that.
Body of Charlie Kirk, that his neck actually stopped the bullet. From the beginning, there have been people saying that's not possible. That just makes this all kind of a conspiracy. For example, one person said on X, a 30-06 goes through 3 cast iron pans, but somehow produces no exit wound in Charlie Kirk's neck. Many online claims assume that every 30-06 always exits, which is incorrect. Court evidence and forensic
It's funny seeing it spelled like that.
testimony identified the ammunition as a soft point. So that's a big game hunting bullet.
Oh, okay, Allie. Teach me more. Teach me more about soft point 30-06 bullets.
These are intentionally designed to expand quickly on impact, dump energy into the target, and then often stop inside. This is actually why they're used for big game hunting, because you don't want a bullet that is going to destroy the neck or destroy the meat off of an animal. That kind of takes the point out of actually killing the animal, especially if you're using it to eat. That's the lack of explosive nature of these kind of soft point bullets is exactly why they are so commonly used and why they typically don't have an exit point, whether it's a deer's neck or whether it is a person's neck.
Oh, because that's just such a, whether it's a deer's neck, whether it's a moose's neck, same thing. Right. Because thank you for that education, Allie Beth. Thank you for that. Because a soft point is actually designed to penetrate further, right? I mean, you mentioned that, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. Penetrate further inside of a human neck. It's not that much to penetrate more, rather than just going through, right? Or you got the moose's neck, where it does penetrate further, but since a moose's neck and a deer neck and an animal neck, right? Big game. Since their neck is so much more, they're stronger, they're thicker, then that would make more sense. But when it goes in right here and the bullet is designed to penetrate further, and it's an angle where it goes like that. Yeah, I don't that you're not giving me anything for the logic behind it sticking and staying in the neck, Allie Beth. I would need you to explain that to me one more time. I'm not understanding.
I relate actually lack of explosion of an animal that kind of takes the point out of actually killing the animal, especially if you're using it to eat. That destroy the neck or destroy the meat off of an animal. That kind of takes the point out of actually killing the animal, especially if you're using it to eat. That's the
right. So if I destroy the neck of the animal, then I wouldn't be able to eat the entire animal that has meat all over its body, all because the neck is destroyed. Is that where I'm getting at from here? Right? That takes the point out of destroying the neck because you want to still eat it. You serious right now? This is who they sent out. Okay.
lack of explosive nature of these kind of soft point bullets is exactly why they are so commonly used and why they typically don't have an exit point, whether it's a deer's neck or whether it is a person's neck.
Why they typically don't have an exit point. So we're going to sit here and say that 30-06 soft points commonly get stuck in a neck and they, okay. All right. You know,
A related claim to there being no
yeah. Barron calls her Allie Beth stuffy.
exit wound. Charlie wasn't killed by a gunshot, but by an explosive in his mic. And this claim seems to be closely related to Israel did it for some reason. On Thursday, the bullet fragments found inside Charlie's body were shown in court, contradicting the theory that an exploding mic killed him. And so you've got these fragments right there that are shown in court. Also, we don't have any evidence of his mic exploding. People who have said, oh, Charlie didn't typically use this mic. So again, that's another part of the conspiracy here, that the person who put the mic on Charlie was also in on his death. And so this idea that Charlie was wearing a different kind of lavalier mic, that's the kind of mic that you would place on your shirt this time, and that had some kind of explosive mechanism in it. But that's not true. If you look back at the footage of Charlie in previous campus stops, he was wearing the exact same kind of mic. Again, we've got no evidence of that whatsoever. The video, which I have unfortunately seen, that so many of you have seen, of Charlie being shot, you can see his neck go that way and fall, and he falls and he slouches down. You would also have to assume that every single person who witnessed him being shot, every single person who was with him in the car trying to save his life, that they were also all lying about it, that all of the witnesses there who claimed that they saw him get shot and saw him fall in a way that corresponds with being shot in the neck, that they are all.
There's no common way of how you fall when you get shot in the neck, Allie Beth. You know, maybe you should stick to other things. Maybe, I think so. There's no, well, when people get shot in the neck, they generally fall to the left. You know, they generally fall to the left at 45 degrees. What are you talking about? Everybody know he got shot because when he got shot, he fell, his neck did that thing, and then he fell that way. And that's generally what happens when you get shot in the neck. Oh my gosh. Okay, Allie, how much more time we got to get through? 2 minutes?
Lying too. So I just don't see any substantiation for the idea that he.
And secondly, Dan Flood pushed him to the ground. Because if you go back and watch the video, you know, Dan Flood comes over and dang near shoves Charlie out the seat. But that's another point. Let's get some more education from Allie Beth at 1 a.m.
He wasn't shot at all, and that his microphone exploded. There are lots of other claims. We don't have time to get into them today, but if you have a claim that you're like, I really want you to address this, I want you to talk about this, you can send it to me, you can comment, you can send a message. or if there's something that I said that you want me to clarify or dig more into, then we'll try to do that on Wednesday. I do think it's important to address those specific claims. The truth is, I just don't see any evidence or substantiation for the other theories surrounding this. I just don't. I see a lot of conjecture. I see a lot of guessing. I see a lot of, well, isn't this weird? I see a lot of, well, I'm just asking questions, but at the same time, I'm going to implicitly accuse this person, a friend of Charlie, a wife of Charlie, a confidant of Charlie, of being in on a grand conspiracy to murder him. But that's slander without evidence. And so I just don't see any veracity to those kinds of claims. It seems to me like the prosecution has done a good job, that the defense so far hasn't really done a good job of contesting the main thrust of the evidence against Tyler Robinson. And so I think more truth is going to come out as the months go on. I think we're going to see a stronger and stronger case made against Tyler Robinson, that a lot of these theories are going to be outright debunked altogether. But if someone is wedded to a theory and they're wedded to a lie for whatever motivation, well, then of course, everything can be claimed to be fake. Everything can be AI. Everything can just be added to the large pile of conspiracy. But I think most people get fatigued by that. It becomes less and less compelling as time goes on. No matter what you think, pray for Erica, pray for the family, pray for everyone who is involved in this, pray for Tyler Robinson's parents as well, and for truth to prevail and for justice to overcome.
I mean, she's just one of the worst. She truly is one of the worst. That wasn't debunking anything. People can ask you questions about the evidence that's being presented, and it could be bad evidence, right? If you're gonna sit here and talk about this gun, this bullet in the fragments, then if somebody says, well, what about the person that testified saying that there was 7 pieces of fragments, but she was only sent 4? That's strange. Alec Beth wouldn't have anything to say about that. She wouldn't have anything to say about anything if somebody were to ask questions about the evidence that was presented. She would just say, the evidence is the evidence. And it's like, that's the problem, bro. That's the problem. It doesn't make any sense. So when I try to fill the holes, you're going to call me a conspiracy theorist. When I try to fill the holes and try to make sense out of something that doesn't make sense, you're going to accuse me of doing all the attacking the widow and all this other stuff. Like, bro, miss me with all that, bro. She is a pain, an absolute pain. So, I mean, she was one of the donkey of the days too, but I didn't have time to get to her because we had so much to talk about earlier in the episode with the donkey of the day. So, but without further ado, let's get to some of y'all comments. Before we get out of here, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Don't forget as well, if you want to support the channel, you can always become a member of the Yap community. It is up live on the channel. So I believe everything is all set up. So if you want to support the channel, you can become part of the Yap family is what it's called. You become a member of the Yap family. There is also a buy me a coffee website as well. Right here, Jay the Yapper, 1, same as X, same as TikTok. So you can find me on there. You can find me on here if you feel like you want to support the channel and be generous. It's all good. I appreciate all the support. If also, again, baby Yapper number 2 is any day away. So we're getting ready for that. And whenever that happens, I'll do my best to figure out a new routine because it may not be a 10:30 show anymore. It might change. It might be in the middle of the day. I don't know. So we're gonna have to figure out something, but it definitely ain't stopping from here. And I will let y'all know whenever that time comes and it's game time. I will probably make like a maybe not a tweet because those people are evil over there. Maybe a post on YouTube saying that he is here. So I might do that. So stay on the lookout for that because that could happen any day. So I appreciate everybody for always supporting me, always supporting the family, always supporting this channel, because the Yap community has truly been a blessing to to, you know, my life, my family's life in 2026 in general. It has truly been amazing. So I appreciate y'all. Without further ado, let's get it. Some of y'all comment. Let's see what some of y'all been yapping about. Let's see. We talked about it before. Yeah, I did. I needed a full day to recover from that Bays collab. That was crazy. That was crazy. Do I plan on what day for the members only live? Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I did. Again, I am gonna work on all of that stuff. I think right now at the moment, I gotta make sure that Baby Yapper number 2 is good whenever that happens, and figure out the new routine. Once I get the new routine, which would be, you know, again, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, whenever Baby Yapper number 2 arrives, then I will definitely be able to start scheduling and planning for the members only live. But yes, the answer is yes. I do plan on doing members only lives. Absolutely. Let's see. Talk about Frank. He literally was so rude to the witness when he was in Utah. She was an old lady bringing up what she heard, and he told her no. I remember that. Frank Turek he's a bad man. He's a bad man. I remember that he was brushing over her, trying to speed her up and all that. He was rude. Frank Turek is so obsessed with Candace Owens, always trashing her, so annoying. He is. He absolutely is. I don't believe nothing about his life. Are we Frank's only viewers because who watches him? Bruh. Let me see how many views he be having. Man, it ain't no 44,000 people watching Frank Turek. Boy, stop. Stop playing. Is it just his channel? Oh, he's collab. I mean, he's on most of these things. I mean, yeah, he's on most of these videos. Man, that boy ain't got no 44,000 views, man. I mean, it says he got 875,000 subs. I don't know if he's collabing with people, if it's just him. It seems like it is. So Frank Turek, 875,000 subs. But they want me. Folks want me to stop. I can't stop. If fake people like Frank Turek is having 875,000 subscribers, 44,000 views on a video, and he just lying about an email that he wrote himself, I'm never gonna stop. Okay, I'm gonna keep going, because if he can do it, who can't do it? I refuse. That's crazy. Cow, I appreciate you, man. Became a YouTube member of the Yap family, the first. I appreciate you, bro. Let's see. Why do they insist on crashing out for the internet? I don't know. That is a great question. I think that just goes to show you that Candace be living rent-free in these people's head. Because they just constantly think about her. If I jump in a casket for a video, then yes, please lock me up. For real. I'm telling you. If I ever was leaning over my wife's casket, and then I got somebody behind me recording. That's crazy work. Getting all close up on me as I'm whispering. Crazy work. This dude is a serious freaking joke. Is he really a pastor? Yeah, apparently so. I don't believe anything he says, but if we're just being technical, I think so. Unfortunately, it's most women who don't trust Erica, especially widows. Yeah, that's the crazy part. A lot of women clocked her first before men even got into all of that. And still to this day, it's not even like crazy men. Like, I know I'm one of them, but it's not that many guys that you would say outnumbers the women who don't like her. What they don't understand is that Candace already has the receipts or answers before she talks about it. Absolutely. She does every time. They always say Candace, like we don't have an independent thought, name call them because they have no argument. I know. I honestly cannot stand that. It's unfortunate because they label Candace in such like a negative way that like you have to literally be like, bro, I'm not talking about Candace. I'm only talking about my own thoughts and opinions. And you have to like throw that out there. And it's so unfortunate because Candace is great. And it's no jab, but it's annoying. It really is. When you say anything, people are like, you've been listening to Candace. And I'm like, no, I haven't actually. This is my own thought and opinion that I'm telling you right now. I don't need her to wake up and realize Erica's weird. Like she was the last person to ever talk about Erica. Everybody was already on Erica before Candace. She was the last person to talk about her. A lot of things that go on, Candace is the last person to talk about because she's the one doing the investigating and stuff like that. So like, I can't stand when people bring that up. They act like we get all the info from Candace, which is so wrong. Right. I mean, so many people are reporting on this. So many people have opinions on it, on everything. And you can listen to 1 million people and they think Candace is the only person in the world. It was a bad look on Megan. She keeps making herself look like crap. Yeah. It was. And her audience is not happy. And she doesn't deserve any grace, in my opinion. Candace can give her as much as grace as she wants to. That ain't got nothing to do with nobody else but Candace. But as far as her listeners and supporters, they don't need to. She don't deserve grace from them. She been gaslighting them for way too long. And Jack Posobiec should have been the last straw. I mean, it should have been a lot of things that should have been the last straw, but better late than never. Better late than never. Could you imagine a married couple? Ashley's on a break of divorce because of Candace's podcast and not agreeing on a true crime theory. I know, right? It's diabolical that Frank wrote that email to himself. There's no couples in this entire world that is up at night arguing over Frank Turek and saying, honey, you gotta slow down on that Candace stuff. Now they might be annoyed at talking about it because there's a lot of people that just don't want to talk about it because they're just like, bro, I'm just not interested. But as far as like, how dare you talk bad about Frank Turek? That's just like, no, I think we need to go to therapy because how dare you talk bad about Frank Turek? He's such a great guy. Don't talk like him. Don't talk like that about him. Megan, F Megan. Remember, right after the assassination, Megan was parading around Ben Shapiro and telling her audience to look up to Ben, that she trusted Ben. Wow. I don't think I knew that. I'm not surprised, though. They already did that to Charlie and now dividing his fan base with Pick. I can't have that up there for too long. Yes, I do agree with you. Let's start here. That on Charlie's neck was an exit wound, not an entry wound. I also agree with you on that. We've talked about that before in the Yap community, and I'm sticking beside it. I think it was an exit wound, and you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I haven't said this probably in a while, but I don't want to say ever. But I'm starting to lean more towards after the prelim. I'm starting to lean more towards like exit wound from a gunshot, like low key. It kind of flips back and forth. I'm not like 100% committed to anything, but I'm starting to like lean more towards exit wound from a gunshot, from a smaller caliber. Candace Lady Meg, yeah, I agree. I mean, I said that to somebody earlier today on TikTok. Like, you know, Candace doesn't have to come out and start bashing Megan because Megan flipped sides. Like, that's Megan's fault. You know what I mean? That's all on Megan. So Candace doesn't have to say much about it. It's not her place. If Megan want to do that, then Megan can do that. It'll show because Megan has millions of subs as well, and she can't pull in a third of Candace's listeners. So it'll show. So like Candace doesn't have to say nothing at all. She can just let her, you know, do all of what she want to do, and she'll be stuck out in that ocean by herself. In this episode, Candace said people have been calling her to convince her about Erica. I think she was talking about Brandon. Really? I didn't catch that. I gotta go back and listen to that. Tucker and Megan don't want to criticize either CO or EK. Yes, I agree. Tucker and Megan are for sure. They just gonna sit on the fence. They don't want to chime in on either one. They don't want smoke from either side. I agree. Personally, I think it's weird that everyone is trying to tell us it's not normal to question the spouse when that's literally the first thing cops do normally. It is weird, huh? That is the first thing in a suspicious elimination of somebody. That's the first thing people would do. The cops would do. Question the spouse, question the inner circle, and it's just questioning. I'm not going to accuse you of anything unless something comes from this questioning and it's interrogating. From this interrogation. So I don't know why, I guess I do know why. It's a psyop for a reason, but right. It's not out of the normal protocol. That is literally typically what happens. Angela became a YouTube member. Welcome to the Yap family. Angela, I appreciate it so much. We are going to have a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. So loving Blake Neff is a huge red flag. Yeah, I mean, I told Baze that the other night. I said, dog, Tucker Carlson, Blake Neff worked for Tucker Carlson, got fired. He never came out with an apology at all about that. Tucker Carlson still stood 10 toes behind him. Then Tucker Carlson probably put him on. We don't know how he got to Stu Peters, but I think we can kind of say he might have put Blake Neff on with Stu Peters, but Tucker Carlson definitely put Blake Neff on with Charlie Kirk with still no apology, none of that. You know what I mean? So like the weirdest person out of that whole TPUSA circle outside of Erica, maybe Andrew Kovac's the weirdest one, but he's a weird individual and Tucker Carlson loves him. He would never talk bad about him. So, or criticize him. So yeah, I mean, I think being great friends with Blake Neff is weird. We'll see. Only time will tell. Hopefully I'm wrong. I think Erica told or convinced them by saying they will do that to her if Tyler's story does not work. I can see that. I'm open to it. Y'all know me. I'm open to everything, every theory. So I can see that. And then everybody just feels bad. Pray and keep hope alive that good people are working for justice and truth will prevail. I hope so, man. I really do. I hope so. Because they are really fighting against truth. And sometimes when you really look at everything that's going on in the world, sometimes it's so hard to believe that truth will prevail just because of all the crazy things such as Big Jeffrey, right? All the things that went down with him in the Einstein files. I'm sure a lot of people probably still to this day say truth will prevail. And it's been, a very, very long time of no justice. And the people that's in power, the people that are sitting in those seats that are running our country is just, it can be very discouraging. It can be very discouraging because it feels like they win. Obviously not in the end, but in the moment, it feels like they win. And it can just be very heavy. So hopefully, man, I hope so. I don't think nothing will come from this Charlie Kirk investigation either. I don't think we'll ever get real justice. We might get street justice, but I don't think we'll get real justice either. And these people will just walk free. So when this is solved, what happens next? Will Candace cover this topic for another year? Well, the trial is a long ways out, so I don't know. Um, it's crazy. It really is. When you really think about the psyop, you're like, hey, was this the plan all along to have us distracted on this for, but then it's also tough to say, oh, let's just move on, because, that's also what they will want. Because something is wrong about this. I think this is a huge deal in our country that's going to go down in history as, showing that our country can do whatever they want to their citizens. And that's sad. They can even knock their own citizens off and eliminate them forever, and nothing happens from it. So I think that letting it go is annoying. I don't think, this should be something very huge to the point where like nobody wants to go out in November every 4 years. I can't say the words, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Nobody should want to go out every 4 years and do anything for those people until they prove to us that they are for the people. Because after Charlie Kirk, I think they have proven what side they are truly on, and it's not for us. So I think it's very important to keep talking about it, because when the election comes around, I didn't mean to say that word. I gotta change the topic. ACM 8691. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for joining the Yap family, man. I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate you. Wait, what did Jay think about the call-in guest when he streamed with Baze? Oh, you talking about Charlie? It was interesting. I always try to see everybody's side to everything. Open-minded person. I will admit, her and Baze was talking for a little bit, and I sometimes was like, I was getting a little sleepy sometimes. So I definitely was like dozing a little bit, you know what I mean? So I was following, but when they started talking for a little bit, I was like zoning out a little bit. Then I had to lock it back in. So I don't really know. I actually have to go back and listen to it thoroughly again to actually have a accurate opinion on everything that went down. But from what I can remember though, no, I can't remember much. I have to go back. I had to go back and listen to it. I'm sorry. That was a long stream, man. That was beyond my time. I have never gone that long ever. It was like 3 a.m. Let's see. Yeah, that was pretty funny. That's definitely how she pronounced it too. I don't know who watches Allie Beth. I don't know who watches a lot of people from Turning Point, or Daily Wire. I think they buy a lot of their views. Because I saw Cabot Phillips came out with a podcast. I'm like, bro, nobody Cabot. Nobody cares about what you got to say unless you're gonna break it down on how you and Erica met, how you and Erica was dating, how did Charlie know about you and Erica? Did you tell him? I would listen to that, but I don't find anything you say useful or helpful, especially because you work for the Daily Wire. Shelly, thank you for joining the Yap family. I greatly appreciate it. The Yap family is growing. Y'all was getting on Allie Beth. Y'all was getting on her. "1 a.m. Are you on the East Coast? 10 p.m. here. Yes, I am on the East Coast. I'd be super jealous of the what are you, Pacific time? I'd be so jealous of the Pacific time right now. Cause I'm like, shoot, y'all got it good right now. This is what, 10:41? What is that, right? 11, 12, 1? Yeah. It's 10:41 over there. Night just getting started for y'all. I started this stream at 10:40, 10:45. It's just now 10:40 for y'all. I don't get why they want to bury Tyler. I mean, it's crazy because that's the argument that they don't want to ever talk about. It's like, okay, let's just say it is Tyler. Can we agree that there's more people than Tyler? Then they don't want to have that conversation. It's like, sure, okay, let's just play your game. It's not Erica, it's not TBUSA, it's not any of the people that you love so much. What if it's some more transgender fairy leftists? What if it's more than Tyler Robinson? What if it's Lance Wiggs? You don't want him. You don't want them in jail either. You don't want to go find out if they know more. Why is Erica's prosecution team not pissed off at the fact that Lance Wiggs has immunity? Why aren't they demanding that immunity be lifted? And if he says something criminal or that's incriminating, he goes to jail for it. Why aren't they mad about that? No. They don't care about that. It has to be Tyler Robinson, him by himself, and he must die alone. Wow. Amazing Christians, huh? To say it and say stuff like it's that knowing you're a liar is a common thing with these effing people like her. And I would never understand it. Thank God for Candace, Barron, Yapper, and this chat. Oh, man, I appreciate you for realizing how crazy these people are and, surrounding yourself with authentic people. And hopefully that's how, everybody in the Yap community is probably the same way. That's the most important thing, man. It's just not buying all of this BS that's going on. How can she just keep talking and saying lies as if it's true? So to so comfortably calm, non-bothered, how can you lie so comfortably? That is a person. No one should ever take her serious. Yeah, I don't know. They're so comfortable lying. It doesn't faze them at all. Except Yappisode, big boy. He get to blinking like crazy when he start lying. But they're all probably disturbed deep down. But this is what they have to do. That's what happens when you sell your soul. Every single day you have to wake up, put on that facade, put on that mask, and go lie. And it just eats at them every single day. I think Charlie had a quote on that about like lying kills your soul. And it does, it's going one day, whether they look different, whether they age different, maybe somebody looks a little bit older and they look rough, it's going to eat at them. It's going to continue to eat at them. Not a fan of Megan here. Jay called it early. Look, I told y'all. I unfortunately I didn't want to be right. I love to be proven wrong, especially in these situations. I didn't want to be right about Megan, but shoot, she did it to herself. Now we shall see. I told y'all already that my money is, I don't necessarily think Tucker Carlson is going to come out just straight Fed slop pushing. That would be crazy. Like, that is, I couldn't even imagine that. But I think he's going to stay silent, though. I said that before because everybody was like, "Oh, Tucker's gonna start talking soon. You just wait." And I was like, "No, he's not, bro. He loves Erica too much. Y'all gotta listen to what he's saying. Everybody's not playing chess. Sometimes you have to whatever people say to you, whatever people show you, you have to believe them. Sometimes everything is not a mystery." And so he talks about loving Erica way too much for him to come out and completely flip in a couple of months. So I don't think that he's going to come out and push Fed slop like Megyn Kelly or have people on his show that's full of BS. I think he has enough integrity to not do that. But I think due to whatever the circumstances could be, he could be getting threatened. Who knows? I think that he will remain silent and not have a say. And this is not his fight. He's going to stay out of it. He literally came out and said that in the podcast. I try to tell people he came out and said that in the podcast with forgot what that guy's name is. Something Dean. No, it's not Dean. Maybe I forgot what it was. But he said, I don't plan on coming out criticizing Erica, criticizing TPUSA. I don't plan on commenting on that. I don't care about all the stuff that's going on in it. I don't want to know. I try to tell y'all. So I feel like he's going to remain silent. I don't think he's playing chess because everybody thinks he's holding his cards close to his chest and he's going to come out. And I'm like, bro, Tucker is not in a disrespectful way, but Tucker is too old to be the villain. He doesn't want to do that no more. He's not going to come out and be Candace Owens. Nobody wants to be Candace Owens. So, I don't see that happening. I think people think he's going to come out and speak up for Charlie. I don't think so. And then people will eventually, one by one, because I'm starting to see some posts on it now on X, people are going to eventually be like, man, Tucker must speak up. Tucker's been silent for way too long. I'm like, yeah, well, y'all let a year and a half go by. And he's still silent, but we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully he comes out guns blazing soon. My son-in-law had a heart attack. He was 47. Cops came with cameras checking prints. He had to have an autopsy because he died at home. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear about that. They interrogated my daughter. All right, I think, the point that you're bringing up is that they interrogate and question anybody close to the victim when a mysterious death happens. And unfortunately, it's true. It's just what happens. It's protocol. But these people really do make it seem like it's a problem for people to question Erica, or people to question TPUSA and Charlie's circle. Erica literally had paid influencers come to the trial of her husband, right? They already said Friday, everybody packed the house out, the TPUSA influencers. That's crazy. Tucker Carlson will be silent until after the trial, and then a post like Charlie on Butler incident. I can see that. I can see that. You know, in my opinion, it'll be too late. Because, you know, that's the whole point of like fighting for truth. Because when you see something, you say something. So, you know, not saying anything this entire time throughout the entire prelim, and trial happens, whether Tyler Robinson doesn't make it to trial, whether he pleads guilty, whether he gets the death penalty, it'll be too late, in my opinion. It'll be too late. I think everybody that knew Charlie very close, that knew more, I think that they would have to ask themselves, did you do enough? Because once that happens, the case is closed. It's done. And I think they would have to ask themselves, did you do enough? And I think a lot of people will end up saying, no, they didn't. So we shall see. I don't think Tucker's fed slopping. I think he walks a thin line. I'm pretty sure he's been threatened. Yeah, I don't think he's pushing fed slop either. I don't want to. I would never say that at all. He for sure has not pushed fed slop. He has had great people on his show to expose the fed slop. I just think that due to him being a friend to everyone, he is in a spot where he cannot comment because he doesn't want to attack anybody. He loves Candace. He loves Erica. He loves Blake Neff. And if he were to choose a side, that would be hurting the other side. Candace talks about how much she loves Tucker. She would be gutted if Tucker chose Erica's side in full. So Tucker has to play the fence. He's riding the fence, right? He's sitting on the fence. So, yeah, I don't think he's pushing fed slop at all, but I think that he's going to stay silent because he doesn't want to lose either friend. I've never seen that used before. How did you even type that? If he's going to, he needs to get on with it. Same with Candace. It's time to drop everything she knows. People keep saying she's playing chess, but if so, I'm tired of the game. Expose it all. Yeah, I think the closer we get to trial, yeah, man. I think I said before in the last Yappisode that after Friday of the influencers going on that lie, that campaign of saying that they saw a 4K video, and it was clear as day. You saw his face. You saw Tyler Robinson. I think that was the day that started a counter for Tyler Robinson's life. And now he only has an X amount of days to live. Because I think they pushed that narrative for a reason. But they know it's a lie. They know that the prelim didn't show anything that was like damning. So they had to have something. That's why they invited everybody on Friday. They saw that coming. And I think that, Tyler Robinson, at the end of the day, I don't think he's completely innocent. I think he is he's where he wants. I wouldn't say, he played a role. He played a role. So he knew that his role came with a risk. So I don't want to say that he knew that he was going to be in a situation where he was going to be receiving the death penalty. He was going to be the only person to go down for the crime. But he knew the risk that came with the role that he took and signed up for. So I think he knows that if he were to get off, he is a dead man walking. I think he knows that. So I think at this moment right now, it's a lose-lose situation, and his back is against the wall. And I think that somebody might take the route of, oh man, what you did, that video on Friday was so crystal clear. Your face was all over the place. That was the smoking gun. You had Erica crying, you had the parents crying, and then boom, somehow Tyler Robinson writes another confession note in his jail cell, and he's eliminated before trial. He doesn't even make it there. Because when trial comes, you have to remember they have to show this 4K video. They have to show it, and it doesn't exist. So there's no way that they make it to trial and this 4K video that has never existed somehow comes up. So because of that video never existing, but they pushed it as if they saw it, it's for a reason. And I think that Tyler Robinson might end up being like this whole confession thing, and he's eliminated in his jail cell, and then we never make it to trial, and then we never see the 4K video. So I think the closer we get to all of this, people definitely need to start putting their foot on the gas so we can figure something out, or else Tyler Robinson ain't gonna make it. Safe and smart to play the middle ground. It is selfishly for Tucker Carlson to do that. So I'm aware that it would be smart for him to do that. However, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So if you're gonna do that, then he also has to understand that his supporters have the right to trust him less. Just because it's like, you're somebody that always preached truth. You're somebody that always, said, you see something, say something, you tell the truth, you're going to die anyway. Now, all of a sudden, you want to play your cards and not tell the truth when something is clearly wrong. And the people that you're defending are actively attacking your listeners every single day, because the same questions that you have, your listeners have, but the people that you love and defend are calling those people demonic. And you're defending them, saying you love them so much. So Tucker Carlson, even though I know he said he doesn't check social media and stuff, but his listeners are, in a crossfire right now, because they have these values and they like Tucker for what he does, but now all of a sudden he's friends with people that attack them every single day, and he's not saying anything. He's allowing the people that he defends actively call his listeners demonic, crazy, all types of names in the book, and he just lets it happen. And that's because he loves Erica so much. So it's a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing. Tucker is looking at the bigger picture. Tucker knows this has nothing to do with Tyler, and he would rather go for the big game. He is looking at the bigger picture, but again, will he ever come out and admit that he knows everything? I don't know, but he definitely knows everything. He plays this oblivious role as if he doesn't know much, but he knows absolutely everything. And I'll be honest, I know he said he's not going to run for president, but if he were to run for president in 2028, I wouldn't vote for him. I love him to death, and I would have, but Charlie Kirk is definitely a huge now political topic. And I know he's a PR type of guy, so he wouldn't say anything to lose his audience. That's the correct thing to do. Again, selfishly, I understand, but personally, I just think that that's another topic where it's like, if you can't be transparent about that, then you're just like everybody else. Brandy, that was there, said that he looked sickly, like he was not eating, and his close family verified that what we are hearing is not as it seems. Scary. He is so young. I honestly forget too about how young he is, and yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Now they're going there. Now they're going after their other Patsy. They don't want this going beyond this small transfer thing. Yeah, they have started their backup plans for sure. Absolutely. Good morning and sending love from Great Britain. Loved you at Real Bays the other night. I appreciate you. Good morning to you as well, because it is morning for me too. So I appreciate you for listening all the way from Great Britain. Thank you so much. Oh man. Well, that was We got a buzzer beater. Did y'all hear someone say Erica was laying her head on CK's mom's shoulder at the prelim? What is y'all's opinion on that situation? I just can't comprehend how they could stomach her. Yeah, I've heard that a couple of times, and Brandy did confirm that Erica was in there crying and stuff like that. I don't know if I can confirm anything about if I've seen anybody confirm her laying on Erica's mom and my fault, Charlie's mom, and crying. But it's interesting. It's very interesting. I don't understand it either. Erica has lied so many times on Charlie. That would piss me off if I was from the parent perspective, that would piss me off. From a sister perspective, that would piss me off. They have never came out and said anything. The sister has never came out and said anything. Everybody only says things through Erica. When they had that joint statement, that was weird. Stacey Sheridan was following his parents, Charlie's parents. That was weird. I don't know, man. It's another one of those things where it's not clear cut, because a lot of people are like, maybe they're just in for it to make sure they continue to get to see the kids. Maybe, we'll never know. That's just another thing that you can just think about a million times and still not really understand what's happening with that situation. So I don't get it either. I wouldn't be able to stomach her either. As a parent, I wouldn't be silent. As a sibling, I wouldn't be silent. I wouldn't allow all of these people to lie on my brother or my son. But that's just me. In a state of mind where I'm not being threatened by nobody. A normal situation where I'm not feeling pressure from anybody, just straight up calling balls and strikes. But clearly, this is something different. So I don't know. It's very strange. But I appreciate y'all so much for listening to today's Yappisode. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button before you get out of here if you are new to the channel. And outside of that, make sure you guys turn your notifications on so that way you can be notified the next time we go live. It is Saturday. Oh, no, it's Friday, but now it's Saturday. I'm potentially me and my son got a little event going on tonight, so I'll see how late that goes, but make sure you turn your notifications on so that way you can be notified the next time we go live. It will be either tonight or Sunday. We shall see. But outside of that, I hope y'all had a great Friday. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. I hope y'all have a beautiful Saturday, beautiful weekend, great weekend that's coming up. Make sure you stay cool if it's hot weather where you at, because it's super hot from where we are. And I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday and Sunday. And outside of that, I will see y'all on the next one.